Here in the desert of Tempe, Arizona, we are at Packard Stadium for Super Regional Baseball between Arkansas and Arizona State. One of the best hitters in the country, Zach Cox, will face off against one of the best pitchers in the country, Seth Blair. It's Arkansas ASU next. Welcome to ESPNU's coverage of the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. And tonight we are at Packard Stadium here in Tempe, Arizona, getting set for Game 1 of the Tempe Super Regional between Arkansas and the top seed Arizona State Sun Devils. The road to Omaha, the top half of the bracket looks like this. Arizona against Arkansas State. Alabama leaps Clemson 1-0. Virginia same score over Oklahoma. And South Carolina on top of Coastal Carolina. And hello there, everybody, alongside former Major League All-Star Morgan Ensberg. I am Justin Kutcher. And Morgan, I don't want to sound biased, but of all the 8 Super Regionals, I think this one right here may be the best.
No, I think you're absolutely right, Justin. I mean, we have 2 powerful conferences, the 2 top in the country with the SEC and the Pac-10.
Speaking of the SEC, they're a conference that's known for its hitting, and this Arkansas team can definitely swing the bat.
Well, again, you're right. SEC is all about power. The Arkansas Razorbacks are a team that know how to hit the homer. They're second in the SEC in home runs, and listen to this. They are 37-8 when they hit a home run. So we'll be looking to see if they're able to do that today.
And tonight the wind is blowing out to right field for those left-handed hitters. That could be good news. Now on the other side, for Arizona State, you've oftentimes said pitching and defense helps you win championships. This starting staff for this Arizona State team is one of the tops in the country.
Well, you're right. If the SEC is all about hitting, the Pac is all about pitching. Take a look at these pitchers. Tonight we have Seth Blair. All he is 12-0. Next up, you got Jake Borup. He's 11-1. And why not have your third guy, Merrill Kelly, be 10-2? These guys know how to pitch. They know how to defend.
All 3 players were drafted last week. The team ERA is 3.1, good for 3rd in all of the NCAA. It's Game 1 between Arkansas and Arizona State, and it's coming up next.
The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals is presented by Capital One Venture Card, official credit card of the NCAA Men's College World Series. And in part by Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time. Here we go.
A gorgeous night here in Tempe, Arizona at Packard Stadium. Game 1, Arkansas against the top seed Arizona State Sun Devils. The fans have come out trying to cheer on their Sun Devils. It is Fear of the Fork here in Tempe, Arizona. Look at the starting lineups. First for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Leading things off will be Colin Kuhn playing left field. The DH and batting second is Zach Cox. Batting third and playing center field is Brett Eibner. Andy Wilkins will bat cleanup and play third base. Bo Bigham at second base bats 5th. Mark Creeder will bat 6th and play first base. James McCann behind the plate bats 7th. Matt Vincent in right field will bat 8th. And Tim Carver will bat 9th and plays shortstop. Brett Eibner, 21 home runs, 3rd in the SEC. And there is the pitcher they will be facing, Seth Blair, getting set to take the field here at Packard Stadium in the home whites. Hugs all around. The mission for this team is to get back to the College World Series and outperform what they did last year. The Pac-10 pitcher of the year, 12-0 with a 3.06 ERA. He has made 16 starts, 97 innings, 96 hits, 42 runs, 33 earned, 22 walks, and 98 strikeouts. He is the ace of this staff, and his job tonight for Arizona is to come out, put up some zeros, and let the offense take over.
Well, when we're talking about storylines earlier, I think what we really want to take a look with is how effective is Blair going to be when he gets ahead with his first pitch. We want to make sure that he's either getting ahead with the strike, then we'll see how Arkansas reacts. If he gets behind with the ball, that's where it could be trouble. And when you have a team like the Razorbacks who can hit a ball out of the park, especially when the wind's blowing out, it's going to be a big problem for Blair. So we're really going to have to watch that.
Let's take a look at this matchup between Arkansas and Arizona State. Arkansas, in its 2nd straight Super Regional, reached the College World Series last year, 43-19, 18-12 in the SEC. They finished 2nd in the SEC West. They are ranked in the top 10 for 6 weeks, so this is a very good team. Now, Arizona State, 50-8, 20-7 in the Pac-10. It's their 4th straight Super Regional, and they started the season a school record 24-0. And really, they got off to that great start and they haven't stopped. I mean, 24-0, 50-8 right now, 20-7 in the Pac-10. It's really impressive. The head coach is Tim Esme in his first season, and Coach Esme has done a very nice job taking over for Pat Murphy. .862 winning percentage. A former assistant head coach here, was the head coach at Utah, and now coming over and taking over this group.
Well, just talking about a guy who you really want to play for. He's a guy that smiles a lot, and it's really interesting talking to him. He's very into base running, very into attention to the small details on the base pass. So I think we know why they have 130 stolen bases, for goodness sake.
And there's the head coach for Arkansas, Dave Van Horn, in his 8th season, 319 and 177. Another very good coach. Again, the starting pitcher in this matchup for Arizona State is Seth Blair. His numbers again, 12-0 on the season, a 3.06 ERA, 22 walks and 98 strikeouts. The junior from Rock Falls, Illinois. He was the 46th overall pick on Monday by the St. Louis Cardinals. The defense behind Seth Blair in the outfield from left to right. Johnny Rudiger gets the start in left field. Andrew Applin in center field. Cole Calhoun in right field. Ricio Torres at first. Zach McPhee at second. Drew Maggi at shortstop, and Raul Torres at third base. Behind the plate is Austin Barnes. It's June 12th. The weather here in Tempe, Arizona, you would think in the hundreds. 84 degrees. It is a dry heat, only 19% humidity. Forecast calls for partly cloudy skies. You cannot ask for better weather wherever in the country you are, especially here in Tempe, Arizona.
I mean, isn't it supposed to be 84 degrees at 1 o'clock in the morning or something like that? I mean, it's been really nice. This wind, though, I'll tell you, is a hitter's dream.
Colin Kuhn will lead things off here for Arkansas. We are set to go here in game 1, best of 3 between Arkansas and the top seed Arizona State Sun Devils. The first pitch from Seth Blair. Fastball in the inside corner for strike 1. Colin Kuhn, a redshirt sophomore from Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, drafted in the 15th round by the Detroit Tigers. Breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-2. .348, 16 home runs, 52 RBIs. Big production out of the leadoff man for Arkansas. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball, got it. Good start for Seth Blair.
Well, that right there was simply overpowering. We take a look right here. This is a fastball that really is right on the corner. Blair, of course, in that situation with being ahead 2 strikes, wants that ball off the plate or barely to nick it.
Zach Cox, one of the top hitters in the country, takes a first pitch breaking ball outside for ball 1. Cox, a first-round pick of the St. Louis Cardinals. The entire Arkansas team actually attended the Cardinals D-backs game last night here in Phoenix. Fastball in the outside corner, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, I think right there, you see a guy, 427 in the SEC is just phenomenal. This guy just was born to hit.
97 hits on the season, ties a school record, and it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Zach Cox dealing with an injury to his back oblique area, and because of that, he has to basically get spot starts in the infield. He's able to DH, but tonight he's DHing, not playing his normal third base. The 1-2 from Blair. Ground ball right side, base hit, and that now is the new Arkansas single-season school record. 98 hits, but you can see Zach Cox wincing as he rounds first base.
Well, we'll take a look here. That ball is 6 inches off the ground. And if you look at the side, you'll see a guy that's very balanced. You'll notice right at the end that his body does not continue to move forward. That's what allows him to use his hips, keep his hands back, and actually reach that ball and sting that ball.
Congratulations to Zach Cox. His coach said if he didn't miss all that time with the injury, there's no doubt he'd be up 115 hits or something like that.
Well, you're right, and it's too bad just with that injury. You'd really love to see you know, what he could do, but I think that last hit right there kind of gives us a nice glimmer.
Brett Eibner steps to the plate. In the dirt, good stop there by the catcher Austin Barnes. Barnes, a former infielder, now a catcher. Brett Eibner, second-round pick of the Kansas City Royals out of Houston, Texas, but he's lived all over the country.
Well, I asked him too. I said, what's going on? He said his dad was in insurance. So I guess that's the whole reason. I originally thought it was military.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought too.
But you know, when I met this guy, just great kid, and everybody was just so humble. But when you take a look, he got 337, he got 21 home runs. The thing that's amazing, the kid throws 98 miles per hour off the mound.
Slider on the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And we asked him, we said, which do you prefer, pitching or hitting? Hitting. Oh, no hesitation.
I don't even know if we got that sentence completed before he said hitting. Well, he's definitely going to be in the big leagues. He's 6'4", center fielder. There's no doubt about that to me.
Goes to a slider again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Brett Eibner in the Fayetteville Regional. Again scrambling. 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 5 runs. It's not a bad ball game.
It's a pretty good game.
The 2-2. Another slider, and this one is fouled back.
You know, we don't get a chance so often out west to see a lot of these SEC teams. And I think there might be this idea that Arkansas is just somewhere in the middle of nowhere, or, you know, something like that. It's not that at all. It is beautiful. I have been out there. It's a gorgeous campus, and they're packing in 10 grand a night out there.
Another 2-2, just missing with a slider. It's a good sharp slider Seth Blair's got.
Well, and that particular pitch right there is very effective only because it looks like a fastball. When you throw a hard slider like that, and that has more 12-6 action, which is what you normally see as a curveball, but he throws it so hard, batters think it's a fastball.
Runner goes on 3-2, strikeout, throwdown, but we've got catcher's interference. Excuse me, we've got batter's interference.
That's a bad
That's
call.
going to be a double play.
He shouldn't have called that. You can't, when a batter's swinging, there's nothing you can do.
A double play to end the inning. No score at the end of a happening Arizona State coming up. No score, bottom 1. Brett Eibner got called for batter's interference. Let's take a look at the replay here and see if you agree with this call, Morgan.
Well, I don't at all. You've got a guy swinging. He doesn't get hit. He ducks. This is going to be the perfect example. So look, you got a guy who takes a full cut. He falls over a little bit, which really means his body movement is, you know, moving out in front. Terrible in my opinion.
Let's take a look at the lineup here for Arizona State. Leading things off will be Drew Maggi at shortstop. Zach McPhee bats second. Cole Calhoun in the 3-hole. Mauricio Torres bats cleanup. Johnny Rudiger will be in the 5 spot. Devin Marrero will DH and bat 6. Raul Torres bats 7th. Andrew Applin 8th. And Austin Barnes will bat 9th. They will face the right-hander, Mike Bolsinger, 6-5 on the season, a 4.77 ERA. 83 innings, 82 hits, 55 runs, 44 earned. He's walked 22 and struck out 75. Drafted in the 15th round by Arizona. And he will face Drew Maggi to lead things off. The top few guys in this order, very tough for Arizona State. First pitch fastball is in there for strike 1.
Well, like most teams, we were asking, what do you guys need to do to win? What really gets you guys going? They said immediately, Maggi and McPhee, the top 2 guys. If they go, we go.
1 ball, 1 strike to Drew Maggi. Batting .343, 4 home runs, and 37 RBIs. On deck, Zach McPhee. Foul down the right field line, out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Look at some scores around the Super Regional play. Alabama defeats Clemson 5-4. They take a 1-0 lead in that series. Miami on top of Florida 3-2 now in the 9th. Breaking ball missing outside. The catcher James McCann holds it there. So the home plate umpire Perry Costello can get a better look. But Perry Costello said, nope, that's a ball. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
I'll tell you, he throws that again, it'll be a strike 3.
He doesn't. Line drive up the middle. Brett Eibner right there for the first out here in the inning.
Well, right here, you're seeing Maggi doing what he does, getting on top of a ball. That ball is a fastball up and lines it out. You can never be upset when you line out. Good job of hitting.
Zach McPhee steps to the plate. The Pac-10 Player of the Year this year, 5'8", 172-pound sophomore. Switch hitter. And the first pitch fastball's in there for a strike. McPhee on the season, 394, 9 home runs, 63 RBIs, nearly 500 on base percentage. And he's behind in the count, 0-2. A good overhand curveball there by Bolsinger.
Well, Bolsinger, if he continues to be able to get ahead and then use that effective slider, he's going to be really tough on these Arizona State hitters.
0-2, chopper foul. Mike Bolsinger getting the start here in game 1. He had a rough regional against Washington State, went 4 1/3, 9 hits, 6 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. So he's well rested now for this one. His coach says you will know early if he's on, and if he's on, he's very good. Curveball, got him swinging.
I'm going to say he's feeling pretty good right now.
He's got those pitches working for him.
Well, again, when you get ahead, you can just be so much more effective with your off speed. Now, I just want to say right now, nobody's hitting that ball ever. That ball starts up by the belt, drops all the way down to about halfway up the shins. You have no chance against that.
2 outs now for Cole Calhoun. Starts him off with a breaking ball, missing up high. 1 ball and no strikes. Cole Calhoun, one of the leaders of this team, an 8th round pick of the Los Angeles Angels out of Buckeye, Arizona. Fastball missing outside, 2 balls and no strikes. 325, 16 home runs, 58 RBIs. Look at that, 16 home runs, 2nd in the Pac-10. That just goes to show you these ballparks are big. The ball doesn't carry out here on the West Coast. 3-0.
I think you're right. The parks out west are normally difficult because of a marine layer. Now it's a little different here in Arizona State. I would say this is the best hitting of all of the Pac-10 schools, but the rest are just massive ballparks that deal with heavy air.
Bolsinger's 3-0. Outside, a 4-pitch walk issued to Cole Calhoun. The defense behind Mike Bolsinger in the outfield from left to right. Colin Kuhn is in left field. Brett Eibner in center. Matt Vincent in right field. Around the horn in the infield, Monk Creeder at first base. Bo Bigham at second. Tim Carver at short. Andy Wilkins at third. And James McCann behind the plate. Now that's not a typical defensive alignment for this Arkansas Razorback team as Ricio Torres steps to the plate. And Torres takes the first pitch fastball for a strike. Ricio Torres, a sophomore from Phoenix. Pac-10 All-Conference performer this year. The defense for this Arkansas team, though, usually Zach Cox is playing third base, Andy Wilkins is at first base, and Monk Creeder is the DH. But with Zach Cox, the injury. Fly ball to right center field. Eibner going back, makes the catch on the run for the 3rd out of the inning. Brett Eibner showing off his defensive skills out there in center field. No score at the end of 1. When we come back, we'll take a look at Arkansas's trip to the College World Series last year. Top of the 2nd, scoreless game, Arkansas and Arizona State. Arkansas trying to go back to the College World Series where they were last year. The Arkansas Razorbacks made it all the way to Omaha, already with 1 loss. Brett Eibner against Virginia ties it up in the 9th at 3. Then in the 12th, Arkansas defeats Virginia 4-3 to move on. But then they play LSU for the 2nd time, and LSU erupts for 4 home runs in the ball game, and they knock out the Razorbacks by the final score of 14-5. Dating back to 1897. Look at that for Arkansas. 6 College World Series, national runner-up in 1979. Andy Wilkins to lead things off takes the first pitch fastball for strike 1.
Boy, that's a wide strike.
Changeup misses outside, a 5th round pick of the Chicago White Sox. Wilkins batting .276 with 15 home runs and 68 RBIs. Got him on that breaking ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, you'll notice that C right there on his uniform, and we asked Coach Van Horn, how do you go about choosing captains, and they do right after fall ball, and they have a team vote, and so that's how they got that.
Breaking ball, strike 3. I think it's safe to say that looking at Seth Blair through the first inning and a third, and also Mike Bolsinger, both pitchers feeling pretty good so far.
Well, again, that right there is just a good slider, and obviously he's looking for something else. And
third strikeout already for Seth Blair. Bo Bingham steps in. Breaking ball, chopper, third base. What a play by Roland Torres to his brother. Not in time. Torres was up off the bag.
Well, we'll see right here. Now, this ball obviously is topped, and I can just tell you right now, as a third baseman, with all your momentum going back and being able to fire a ball like that is very difficult. What a great arm, brother to brother right there.
That's going to be an infield hit for Bo Bingham. And now with Bingham on at first base, he's got some speed, 14 for 16 in stolen bases. Monk Creeder at the plate. They will hit and run with Creeder. Fastball in there for strike 1. Remember the Howard College Junior College National Championship team last year. They lost just 1 game all year. Back-to-back fastballs, back-to-back strikes. 292, 4 home runs, and 45 RBIs. One away here, top of the second, no score, Arkansas and Arizona State. That fastball is outside, 94 miles per hour from Seth Blair. Seth Blair, the Pac-10 pitcher of the year. A look back at first base. What a great night for baseball here in Tempe. Perfect weather. 1-2 in the dirt, got him swinging. Strikeout number 4 for Blair, and a good block by Austin Barnes.
Well, so far the story again has been pitching with Arizona State, and that right there, hard slider down. The reason why a lot of batters swing at that is because they think it's a fastball. When you throw hard sliders, you don't pick up the spin sometimes until way too late. A lot of college pitchers throw more curveball, and they develop sliders as they get to pro ball.
Why is that?
I think because, actually, I don't know why in college. In college, I would assume that it's curveball only because that seems to be the first off-speed pitch they learned from growing up. But I think the most effective pitch is probably the slider of the two. I should say that.
James McCann, the catcher, steps to the plate. McCann from Santa Barbara, California. That's right, a California kid catching for the Arkansas Razorbacks. A 4.0 GPA. And that fastball is low and outside.
Well, we were talking again to Coach Van Horn, and he was talking about, look, they recruit across the country, and they are the professional team, so to speak, in Arkansas. You've got a kid right here, Santa Barbara kid.
Ripped down the left field line, foul.
They're really looking for flat out the best players, and if they can get those guys out to the campus, everybody is just blown away by how beautiful it is out there. It's a great facility. Probably the best facility in the country is my guess.
Here is Dave Van Horn, the head coach. Throw back to first base, diving back safely is Bo Bingham. UCLA leading Cal State Fullerton 4-2, top of the 7th. Up there in UCLA, Cal State Fullerton leads that series 1-0. Another slider, did he go? The appeal to first base, and Mitch Milley says no, he did not. Wow. From here, it looked like he did.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, it looked like a strike.
Yeah.
We'll take a look right here. This slider, and yeah, that might be down a little bit maybe, but my guess is that was a strike.
Again, a throwback to first base.
I think later on in a game, if pitchers are able to establish that they can throw that particular pitch every single time, they'll start getting it. But if they're erratic with their off speed, umpires are just not going to give it to them.
Ground ball left side by the diving Raul Torres. And a single here for James McCann. First and second, 2 outs. Arkansas threatening here in the second.
Well, this is the danger of throwing back-to-back the same pitch. The first pitch was a great pitch in that Blair kept it down. The second time, though, you leave it up just a tick and you've already given a free look.
First and second, 2 outs now for Matt Vinson. Vinson been struggling at the plate a bit this year, got off to a horrendous start. Fastball is low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Vinson, the freshman right fielder, trying to give his Arkansas Razorbacks the early lead against the Pac-10 Pitcher of the Year, Seth Blair, here in Game 1 of a best-of-3 Super Regional between Arkansas and Arizona State. From Packard Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. Justin Kutcher alongside former Major League All-Star Morgan Ensberg here on ESPNU. No score, top of the second. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Vincent. Breaking ball, 1-2.
We talked about this a little bit earlier. How effective is Blair going to be on the 1-1 counts? And right there, off speed again for a strike. That makes everything difficult for hitters.
4 strikeouts so far. Looking for number 5, and he leaves that one out. But that's the second time in a row we've seen him go back-to-back with that slider. The first time against James McCann, it led to a single.
That's right. Blair's going to want to be very careful the second time he shows a batter that off-speed pitch. You want to give batters different looks all the time.
2-2 fastball. Got him. 5th strikeout through 2 innings for Seth Blair. Seth Blair strikes out the side around a couple of base hits. It starts with Andy Wilkins just freezing him at the plate. Monk Creeder chasing. Matt Vinson going up high. Welcome back to ESPNU's coverage of the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. Bottom half of the second, no score between Arkansas and Arizona State. Let's take a look around the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals. What's going on? Well, Texas crushes TCU today to even the series at 1, 14-1. Vanderbilt takes Game 2, evens that series with Florida State at 1. And South Carolina defeats Coastal Carolina with a 3-run first inning en route to a 4-3 victory. There will be a Game 3 in Austin, Texas. Looking at Seth Blair, all he's done is struck out 5 batters through the first 2 innings. Johnny Rudiger to lead things off here in the second for Arizona State. And the first pitch fastball misses outside from Mike Bolsinger. Game 2 of this series will be tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN2. Johnny Rudiger out of Joliet, Illinois. 6'2", 180-pound sophomore.
And he can run.
Up high, the check swing. He did not go, says Greg Street down to third base. So it's 3 balls and no strikes, and Mike Bolsinger in danger of walking leadoff man here in the second inning. 362, 4 home runs, 35 RBIs. And taken all the way, takes a strike.
The ball looked right down the middle. It looked like Rudiger was trying to get him first base on it.
3-1, fouled away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. On deck, Devin Marrero. Freshman All-American. All he's doing is hitting .397. The 3-2. Backdoor breaking ball misses for ball 4. Coverage of the road to Omaha continues on ESPN tomorrow afternoon with regional action. First at 1 Eastern, you'll see either Game 2 of Coastal Carolina and South Carolina or Game 3 of Florida State against Vanderbilt. Then at 4, Game 2 of Virginia and Oklahoma or Game 3 of Texas and TCU. The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One on ESPN tomorrow afternoon at 1 and 4 Eastern. A leadoff walk here to Rudiger. Let's see what Arizona State decides to do. Devin Marrero, 397, 6 home runs and 37 RBIs. Not showing bunt on that first pitch. From Davie, Florida, 6'1", 174 pounds, DHs, plays shortstop. He's got great hands at shortstop.
I'm thinking that Arizona State wants to get things going. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a hit and run around here somewhere.
Takes a fastball right down the middle, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Again, the key to Arizona State's success is being aggressive on the base paths. So they constantly want to get runners going. That forces pitchers to throw more fastballs.
Curveball, strike 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rudiger on at first base, his 9 for 11 in stolen bases this season. As you mentioned before, this ASU team has 130 stolen bases, 41 more than second place UCLA. Up the middle, nice play by Bolsner, goes to second, into center field. Down to third base goes Rudiger. An error on the pitcher, Bolsinger.
Well, we'll see right here. Now, this is a very athletic play, but what's most important is to really close your shoulder. If you're firing that, you want to almost pretend like you're firing at the shortstop's left hip. What ends up happening is it's difficult to turn around and fire like that, and ultimately sometimes the ball will end up sailing just like it did.
And immediately, Dave Jordan, the pitching coach, wants to come out and try to settle him down. Arkansas not wanting this game to get away from Mike Bolsinger here in the second. You go from a potential double play instead now to first and third, nobody out, and Raul Torres coming up.
From a strategic standpoint now, you always want to check the infielders, see what they're doing. With 2 outs, you're going to notice that there's man, or the men are in double play depth. So as a batter, success is going to be either driving a ball deep or hitting a ball up the middle. Now, you don't want to run into a double play, but the priority is to get a pitch up and try to drive it to score this runner at third. You're not allowed to strike out with a runner at third in less than 2 outs.
Raul Torres, one of the senior leaders, takes the first pitch slider low and outside. Torres, the third baseman. His younger brother, Ricio Torres, the first baseman. Nobody out, first and third. And base hit through the hole on the left side. 1-0 Arizona State.
We'll take a look right here. This is a sinker, really, that's down and in. Of course, Torres taking that ball in that 5-6 hole, doing a great job. RBI, that's what you need.
First and second, still nobody out. Andrew Applin steps to the plate. At third base, Andy Wilkins looking for a bunt, as is Montcreter at first base. Showing bunt, offering on it is Applin, says Perry Costello, the home plate umpire.
So back to baseball 101 in a bunt situation with man on first and second and nobody out. The goal of the hitter is to bunt the ball to the third baseman and force the third baseman to make the play.
Not bunting. Bounced it foul. No balls and 2 strikes. Now this must be almost deja vu for Mike Bolsinger, because the error on the throw to second base on a potential double play, he did that same exact thing against Washington State when he lasted just 4 1/3. So that's one of the reasons why the pitching coach Dave Jorn came out and said, okay, you know, it's not going to be the same story again. You're going to come in, you're going to focus, you're going to get out of this inning.
And early on, especially with this ballpark, you can score a lot of runs. It's just important not to allow Arizona State to have a huge inning.
Right. If 1 run gets in, I think if they only allow 1 run in this inning, they run off the field happy.
I think you're completely right. With a man on third base and nobody out, you almost not let that run score, but that you don't concentrate as much on that. You're trying to keep from 4 and 5 run innings.
There's a big out on the strikeout with a slider. And that's a second strikeout of the game for Bolsinger. The first out here in the second inning. Now the number 9 batter, Austin Barnes, comes up. 31 pitches so far for Bolsinger, through just an inning and a third. Curveball, strike 1. Austin Barnes, 260, a home run, 22 RBIs. It's the first year he's the catcher for this Arizona State team. Carlos Ramirez caught every game last year. Barnes, a guy who came in as an infielder, middle infielder. And former coach Pat Murphy decided to move him to catcher because they needed a backup last year for Carlos Ramirez. He didn't see much time, but this year he had to take over the catching responsibilities.
Well, and anybody that is a middle infielder that converts to catcher is going to have a little bit of a learning curve, but what you do know is he's going to have great hands.
Curveball popped up. Shallow right field. Coming in as Vincent makes the catch. And there's a second out here in the second.
Okay, let's take a look at runners. With 1 out, runners want to go halfway or part way. If you look at both runners, the man at first, he's getting off about halfway. The runner at second also is getting off. That is perfect base running. The reason why you want to do that is because if the ball drops, you want to make sure that you're not being forced out.
2 outs now for Drew Maggi. Lined out to center his first time up. Takes the first pitch fastball for strike 1. Maggi now batting .342. A chance for a 2-out RBI. Bolsinger a long wait on the mound. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
So now it's Bolsinger's turn. Now we're going to take a look. What is he doing in these swing counts? What is he going to do in this 1-1 count?
What would you do?
Well, I would actually go fastball in, but I think he's going to go slider. Hey-o.
He was thinking along the same lines as you. Now, why'd you say fastball in on that count?
Well, I think that a lot of times batters are constantly taught to look out over the plate. So by going fastball in, you not only get a batter to move off the plate, but if you do nick a strike, you can open up for the slider or fastball away.
Fastball away, hit to right field. Vincent has plenty of room, makes the catch, and a nice job by Mike Bolsinger. He gives up 1 unearned run, an error on a potential double play ball. Throws it into center field. It was first and third, nobody out, but only 1 run comes in off the base hit by Raul Torres. 1-0 Arizona State. 1-0 Arizona State leading Arkansas on an unearned run in the second. Some Razorbacks fans have come out to Tempe, Arizona. Some Arizona State fans enjoying dinner. Yep, that's right. It's about dinner time. Leading off here in the third, it'll be Tim Carver, followed by Colin Kuhn and Zach Cox. Five strikeouts already for Seth Blair. First pitch, foul ball. Seth Blair so far, what has he done in this game? How about flyouts? None. Groundouts? None. 5 strikeouts and 1 batter's interference through 2 innings. The Pac-10 pitcher of the year pitching here in the Super Regionals Game 1 against Arkansas. Good slider, missing down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tim Carver out of Fayetteville, Arkansas, majoring in kinesiology. Ground ball up the middle. Zach McPhee can't handle it. That's going to be an error against the Pac-10 Player of the Year. First ball put in play by an out, and it's an error against the second baseman.
Well, Tim Carver does everything right. Hitting a ball hard, that's all you can ask for, hitting it up the middle. In my opinion, I don't know how McPhee's going to ever get that. I understand that they call it errors, but I think he did a good job of blocking it. I've always just had a problem with how they gauge errors.
First pitch fastball blown by Colin Kuhn. One thing we can say as the guys at ASU told us yesterday is this field, you're going to get a lot of bad hops.
Well, there's a lot of clay on this field, and anybody that knows about clay is that in this big heat, it just gets hard, almost like cement underneath. Now on top they have what's almost similar to, fine cat litter, which is, sandier, so to speak, to kind of soften it up. But with this heat, this thing almost becomes asphalt, especially later on in the game as the sun's just sat there and baked it.
1 ball, 1 strike to Colin Kuhn. A step off at first base. Tim Carver is 9 for 9 stolen bases. We saw a leadoff walk come around to hurt Mike Bolsinger in the second. Now a leadoff error with Seth Blair on the mound. In the dirt. Another good pitch, another good stop by the catcher, Austin Barnes.
Well, very athletic catcher. We spoke about it earlier in the inning. From his feet, he's able to just block, move. He's a middle infielder, for goodness sake.
The 1-2. Snap throw back to first base. Got it!
I know I'm 200 feet away. I don't know. This is where technology rules. So let's see. And safe.
Pickoff 1-3 for the first out. The 2-2 is chopped foul. Let's take a look at this tag again.
Well, here's the problem is that the right hand of Carver gets in and he gets tagged on his helmet. Actually, from that angle, it looked like he got tagged on his hand, huh?
I think he did get tagged on the hand.
Okay, I stand completely corrected. I was wrong. He got tagged by the hand. That is a great call.
Ground ball up the middle, off the shortstop, Drew Maggi into center field. A base hit here for Colin Kuhn. Second base runner of the inning. That is the 4th hit against Seth Blair.
And we'll take a look again. That's just a guy battling, hitting a ball hard on a good slider low and away.
Now Zach Cox steps to the plate. He singled his first time up. The DH takes the first pitch fastball, first strike. Now batting .430. This guy hit .344 in the Cape Cod League with a wooden bat.
That blew my mind when I read that. Most of the even great players will bat closer to, say, 280, 290. You will have some guys that get into the 310. But the fact that this kid goes out and bats .344 with wood bats is amazing.
0-1 is outside. Okay, just to put it into perspective, you played in the major leagues. You're a major league all-star. What'd you hit in the Cape League?
I think I hit 230. But I was consistent because I think I hit 230 in the big leagues too. So I tried to keep it consistent no matter what level I played. But if we look at Cox right here, you'll notice he's kind of back off the plate, which is unusual for a lefty. A good rule of thumb is that if a player or a batter is off the plate, they want the ball away. If he's on top of it, they want it inside.
These are your statistics. College World Series champion back in '98, 8-year Major League Baseball career. An all-star back in 2005. Check on the runner back at first base, Kuhn, who is 17 for 18 in stolen bases. One ball and 2 strikes to Zach Cox.
Well, Carver right here, man on first base, is going to, oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Runner goes, throw down. He is gone.
I was going to say, Kuhn, this in a 1-2 count is looking for an off-speed pitch down, but it turns out to be a fastball up. And these are almost what's termed bad pitch outs, where it makes it almost perfect for a catcher to be already up in his stance and throwing a strike.
Wow, what a good quick release. Strong throw to second. And the fans thought they had strike 3 against Zach Cox. So 2 away now in the 3rd. And again, remember, this guy behind the plate, Austin Barnes, was an infielder.
Well, we talk about feet again.
3-2. Chopper to first base. Fair ball. And Mauricio Torres takes the bag himself. No runs on a hit, and there nobody left on base thanks to that man. Austin Barnes picked off 2 guys in 1 inning. Some fans getting into it here at Packard Stadium. Bottom half of the 3rd inning, 1-0, Arizona State leading. The catcher, Austin Barnes, had himself a heck of a top half of the 3rd. Picking off a runner at first base, throwing out a runner at second base. Zach McPhee takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. McPhee struck out his first time up.
Well, are you guys seeing a pattern now with McPhee? If you remember, in his first at bat, he struck out on a hard slider. And then coming back this inning now, going back-to-back off-speed pitches. So you can kind of learn that that's how they're going to attack McPhee right here. Or, excuse me, in this game, at least this early on.
The 0-2 from Bolsinger. Fastball is fouled back.
And let me just say that if a pitcher, it's so important for pitchers to be able to throw an off-speed pitch for a strike, basically at any time. And then it's also important for them to throw a hard off-speed pitch for a ball at any time.
Fastball called, strike 3. 3rd strikeout of the game for Mike Bolsinger. Let's flash back to the last half inning, though, and check out the play of Austin Barnes behind the plate. Snap throw back to first base, pick off a runner. High fastball, runners going, not even close.
A lot of people think that strong arms are the key. Of course, Barnes does have a great arm, but throwing guys out has to do with quickness, and that has to do with your feet and your legs. That's why Barnes, being a middle infielder, is so good with that quick release. His feet are underneath him, and he's able to go in one motion from back, forward, throwing a strike to second base and throwing a strike to first.
1 ball, 1 strike to Cole Calhoun. Walked his first time up. But what I'm impressed by the catcher Austin Barnes is the throwing motion for a shortstop is much different than a throwing motion from a catcher. And he's made that adjustment to now throw like a catcher.
Well, some guys just naturally throw out of their ear. A lot of second basemen will throw out of their ear. And Barnes, although he didn't have that exact release. Being a middle infielder was, you know, maybe a little bit similar, so it's a good transition. You don't want to be an outfielder going to catcher because those are, I mean, that's almost like you'd rather be an outfielder that's turned into a pitcher.
3 balls and a strike here to Cole Calhoun.
Talking to Cole Calhoun, just a great kid. Also, first kid in his family to graduate from college. So that is an awesome, awesome thing for that family.
A 1-out walk. Coverage of the road to Omaha continues on ESPN2 tomorrow night with more Super Regional action. First at 7 Eastern, you'll see either Game 2 of Clemson and Alabama or Game 3 of Florida and Miami. Then at 10, you'll see either Game 2 between these two, Arizona State and Arkansas, or if necessary, Game 3 between UCLA and Cal State Fullerton. The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One on ESPN2 tomorrow night at 7 and 10 Eastern. First pitch to Ricio Torres is a strike, 0-1. Florida takes a 4-3 lead over Miami in the 10th inning. Trying to knock out Miami. Curveball, that one gets away from the pitcher Bolsinger. And Ricio Torres was almost hit by a pitch again.
Well, he just slipped. Sometimes pitchers will get underneath and almost lead with their elbows, and that causes their hand not to get on top of the ball, which is why these things sail.
Torres has been hit 21 times this year, and now he swings and misses at that breaking ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And that breaking ball was a perfect example of what you actually want to do by getting on top of that pitch. That's how you get the rotation, and that's how you get that good bite that makes it difficult for hitters to pick up.
A 23-game hitting streak right now for Ricio Torres, batting .494 during this streak.
Seems like a video game number. .494.
1-2, back up the middle, base hit. First and second, 1 out. Make it a 24-game hitting streak.
We'll see right here, and this is how you have a 23-game hitting streak, is by keeping your hands inside the ball. Notice how his front foot hits the ground before his hands move. That's what Torres needs to do to constantly keep his eye level straight and identify pitches. But certainly, anytime you're taking middle-in fastballs and driving them back up the middle, you're doing everything perfectly because you're going short and quick to the ball.
Johnny Rudiger takes the first pitch for a strike.
So look at his front foot, down there with plenty of time, and then his hands move. So you have some separation between your hands and your feet.
Rudiger walked, scored back in the second. Fastball is high and away, 1-1. One away, bottom half of the third, 1-0. Arizona State leading Arkansas. Outside. Mike Bolsinger out on the hill again. In the regionals, struggled against Washington State. 4 1/3, 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 were earned. 2 walks and 4 strikeouts.
With this situation with Rudiger being a good runner, if the ball's hit to the right side, the shortstop Carver's probably going to spin move and check the runner who would be rounding third. And the reason why is because when you're an infielder, you always want to know the speed of each runner. Rudiger can really run. He's from the left side, so he's that much closer to first base. It's going to be difficult to turn a double play if Rudiger pulls the ball.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Rudiger. That nearly caught him on the back leg. And now it's 3-2 with 1 out. The 5th 3-ball count tonight for Mike Bolsinger.
So this is an interesting situation because Bolsinger decided to go off-speed pitch right there and misses inside. It kind of makes it so that Bolsinger has to go with the fastball.
Second base is Cole Calhoun. First base, Mauricio Torres. Both guys run pretty well.
Now, what would be smart, I think, is to go backdoor slider.
He does, and it's outside for ball 4. Here at Packard Stadium in Tempe, Arizona, on the campus of Arizona State, it is game 1 of a best-of-3 Super Regional between Arkansas and the top seed Arizona State Sun Devils. Justin Kutcher alongside former Major League All-Star Morgan Ensberg here on ESPNU. The Sun Devils threatening once again here in the third. They scored an unearned run in the second. Now bases are loaded, 1 out in the third for Devin Marrero. Marrero reached on the error by the pitcher Mike Bolsinger his first time up. Back-to-back innings where Bolsinger is in trouble. Why right now? Because of a lack of control. Struck out Zach McPhee looking. Walk Calhoun, single to Torres. Now a walk here to Rudiger. He starts off Devin Marrero with a first pitch slider, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, the pitcher's best friend again is always the double play. And the pitcher that panics, bad things happen obviously. But the pitcher that recognizes that if he can keep the ball down and get a ground ball, you're out of this inning, no problem.
That breaking ball is inside. Back-to-back breaking balls after walking 2 of the last 3 batters. And now you're behind in the count 2-0 with the bases loaded, nowhere to put Marrero. If you're a hitter right now, you got to be sitting fastball.
Well, I think you're definitely sitting fastball, and you also want to make sure that you don't get too anxious and pull the ball. Jimmy Williams was a genius and said, hey, get a pitch out over the plate with bases loaded and try to drive it to right center.
2-0 fastball going the other way. 1 run scores. Mauricio Torres being waved around. Here comes the throw. Torres is safe. A 2-run single by Devin Marrero makes it 3-0.
We'll take a look right now and see exactly what happened. So already ball, starting with behind in the count. Then right there you are caught with the fastball. You have to go fastball. You've got to throw a strike. I think though from this standpoint of hitting, the fact that you can take a 2-0 fastball when you know it's coming and can hit a ball to right field shows just how disciplined these Arizona State batters are. That's amazing hitting.
Pitching coach Dave Jorn out for a visit. There's some action down in the bullpen right now for Arkansas. It's number 34, Jeremy Heatley. Heatley starting to throw out there for the Razorbacks. Arkansas realizing what's at stake right now. Trailing 3-0. Bolsinger already 59 pitches. Heatley on the season is warming up out there. He's 5-0 with a 4.15 ERA in 39 innings. Two and a third, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. 4 walks and 3 strikeouts. It's those 4 walks right now that are killing Mike Bolsinger and the Razorbacks.
Well, those are free passes, and baseball is a very hard game as is, but if you're giving the offensive team extra outs, there's nothing that a defense can do.
Raul Torres first a spin move, a look back at second. Johnny Rudiger on at second, he walked. Raul Torres 1 for 1 and an RBI single his first time up. Chasing the fastball is Torres. That's the pitch that Bolsinger has gone away from. He was doing a good job in the first inning, getting ahead with the fastball.
Well, the fastball really is the key to all pitching. If you're able to locate and get ahead with the fastball, it makes you throw your off speed more effectively.
Fastball again. In the second, Mike Bolsinger got himself in trouble. A ground ball back to him, throws it into center field. It goes first and third, nobody out. And then Raul Torres singles to left field, drives in a run, makes it 1-0 Arizona State. Now it's 3-0 ASU. Bottom half of the third. 1 out, runners on first and second. But Torres behind in the count 0-2 on 2 straight fastballs from Bolsinger.
So I think Bolsinger should go up again with the fastball.
And now he's got the runner picked off between second and third. Throw back down, he is safe. Bolsinger waited too long to get Rudiger at second base.
I'll tell you, Bolsinger feels bad right now, and you want to get an out. That is a free out. But you know what? No damage has been done. You still have 1 out. You still can have a ground ball right now. He does a great job of running the base runner back to second, and he's out. I think he's out. He slid into, let's see. I think he slid into his shoe, no?
Again, a look back at second base. Here's one more look. Let's see if he is safe or out.
Out?
That's a close one. Two is up high.
Let's go again right here. That's a shoe. And that's a glove with a ball in it that hits a runner's back before he gets back to first base.
So that would be the definition of being out.
Where I'm from.
Chopper foul, stays 1-2 to Raul Torres. But again, I think you bring up a good point. For everybody watching at home, what Bolsinger did well is he ran the player back to second base.
And that's what you want to do. You do not want to get into a rundown where you're throwing more than one throw, because that allows the runner at first base to get to second base and get in scoring position. So technically, everything was done perfectly. In fact, how can you be mad when the guy was out?
Again, a look back. Very concerned right now with Johnny Rudiger on at second base. Devin Marrero, the runner on at first base, a 2-run single for Marrero. Florida has knocked off Miami to advance to the College World Series. Breaking ball missing inside. 2-2. 28 pitches this inning, with the 28th one coming up right now.
Well, for those of you at home, the goal of a pitcher is to throw 12 pitches an inning. If you do that, you're able to get past the 7th inning into 8th and possibly the 9th inning.
2-2 breaking ball is pop foul out of play.
So if we do the math, 12 times 8 innings, 96. That's almost 100. That's basically what most pitchers seem to be working towards these days. So the way you do 12 pitches an inning is by getting outs early in the count. Less than 3 pitches per batter.
Dave Van Horn said he'd be very happy if he got 5 or 6 innings out of Mike Bolsinger. 2-2, runners go. Breaking ball, strike 3. The throwdown is off the glove of Andy Wilkins. It'll be a strikeout double steal. Rudiger goes down to third base, Marrero to second.
And we'll see right here, the reason why Arizona State decided to steal right there is because they know that their hitter rarely strikes out. So they know he's going to battle, of course, there. You see that he didn't swing. But again, Rudiger can run. He is a big, strong kid who also can run.
10 stolen base this season for Rudiger, 11th for Marrero. And now Applin takes the first pitch, backdoor breaking ball outside.
So now with 2 outs and you have this base open over at first base, you don't want to give anything to Applin to hit, because you've got that base open. So you want to be off the plate or up or down. make him swing at a bad pitch.
2 balls and no strikes. On deck, Austin Barnes. 3-0 Arizona State on top. Bottom half of the third. Runners on second and third, 2 outs. Andrew Applin struck out his first time up. 4 Ks in the game for Bolsinger. And now I would just stand up and intentionally walk him.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea, but we saw right there with that 2-0 pitch, they're definitely trying to pitch around him. I mean, rarely do you see a curveball there.
On deck is Austin Barnes. There is ball 4. 4-pitch walk issued to Andrew Applin.
No problem, had the base open. And what's good about that right there is that he didn't throw a pitch that was too close to hit. So if any hitter was going to swing at anything, it was going to be a terrible pitch. So that turns out to be a good job.
Jeremy Heatley in the bullpen, he looks like he's ready. And I'm going to say this right now. I think with Austin Barnes at the plate, 2 outs, bottom half of the third, 3-0 ASU. I think this could be the ball game right here. If he gets a base hit here, blows the game wide open. You get out of it, you're feeling pretty good. Snap throw back to third base, diving back in safely is Rudiger.
I think that I like the way you're thinking. With a team that has so much pop and can hit like the Razorbacks, and being in the SEC, being used to hostile environments, and this is really good hitting right now. With this wind blowing out, I just think that they can throw up 6-7 runs in an inning, no problem. But we'll have to see.
Ground ball, shortstop, Carver. And getting out of a big jam is Mike Bolsinger. But 2 runs do come across. Devin Marrero, the freshman All-American, comes up with a big hit. 2-0 going the other way. Calhoun and Torres both come in. 3-0 Arizona State up on top. The brackets for the road to Omaha look like this. Virginia leads Oklahoma 1-0. South Carolina on top of Coastal Carolina also 1-0. Alabama leads Clemson 1-0. And of course, this is game 1 between Arkansas and the top seed Arizona State. Back here in Tempe, Arizona at Packard Stadium on a beautiful night for baseball. Mike Bolsinger, the starting pitcher for the Arkansas Razorbacks, got out of a huge jam. Bases loaded, 2 outs. He gave up 2 runs in that inning. But again, I believe that getting out of that inning not only extended his night to get him to maybe the 5th inning, which is what his coach is looking for, but it also keeps his offense in this game with Brett Eibner leading off. And the first pitch slider's in there for strike 1. Eibner struck out his first time up. 335, 21 homers, and 69 RBIs. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. And going back to what we were talking about, when I said I thought that was the ball game right there, if he gives him a hit, it can go 5-0 like that.
You're right.
And you extend it. The reason why I said that was because you've got a pitcher in Seth Blair on the mound, who is the Pac-10 pitcher of the year, obviously pitching pretty well right now. He's got 5 strikeouts through 3 innings. I just feel like that's an awfully big deficit to overcome. No matter how good of a hitting team you are, usually good pitching beats good hitting.
I think you're right. I think that it's very difficult to beat Seth Blair, especially when he's never lost this year. That does make it tough. I think that a lot of the baseball that I've played, though, it's just you just never know. And with Arkansas being able to hit so much, like I said, I just feel like they can throw 6-7 runs up no problem.
3 balls and 2 strikes now to Eibner, leading off here in the 4th inning. That last inning, Seth Blair was on the bench for a long time. He did see his team get 2 runs to help him out, though. The 3-2. Inside with a fastball, leadoff walk. While he walks leadoff batter here in the 4th, Seth Blair has been dealing, getting some strikeouts. He's got 5 through the first 3. The first one was Kuhn and a fastball. Then Eibner swinging. Wilkins looking, he was fooled. Creeder chased one, and then up high with Vincent. 5 Ks through the first 3. The career high is 9 for Seth Blair. He has been ahead in the count in every at-bat in this ball game, which is one of the keys that you always bring up.
I think it's everything, and hitters know it. It makes your off-speed more effective because now you know that if you get a strike, first, batters are already 1 strike down. So you can throw a slider in the dirt, batters will think it's a fastball and swing.
I will say this, with a 5-run lead, I know it's still early, 4th inning. Excuse me, a 3-run lead, 3-0. I don't like they're starting off these hitters with off-speed pitches. Attack them. You've been attacking for the first 3. Why not continue?
Well, I think it might be Zach Cox specific.
Off the end of the bat, late break for Applin. He has to play it on a bounce. Now it's 1st and 2nd, and you bring the tying run to the plate in Bo Bigham.
Well, we're going to see a great example right here for base runners. Anytime you see an outfielder try to do this deke, now you watch, he's going to put his glove up, you just go. It's a trick that outfielders use to try to get base runners to stop. So it works well when you're younger, and it works well a little bit here in college. But if you see that glove go up like that, take off, because the outfielder just told you that he can't catch the ball. So this is what we call, just a deke, and he's got his glove up. He knows he's not going to catch it. He's doing it to stop the base runner. So like I said, if you see that as a base runner, you see his glove go up, take off.
Fouled off, 1 ball and 1 strike now to Bigham. Infield single his first time up. Cal State Fullerton trying to eliminate the 6th seed UCLA Bruins right now, 6-5, top of the 9th inning. Fastball fouled back again.
For those of you that wanted to know how do you bat 430, 440, 450 in college, you do it Zach Cox just did, which is you hit balls hard and you hit balls soft, but either way they go for hits. That's the short answer.
1-2 in the air, right center field. Calhoun back on the track, can't make the catch. Sending around third base is Eibner. The throw to the plate, and he is safe. Now trying to take second base, and a rundown is Bigham, and he gets back to first base. An RBI double for Bigham. 1 run comes back for Arkansas. It's now 3-1.
Well, just a great job of hitting. You see choked up right there, getting that front foot down like we've talked about all game, and then lofting the ball up. This gives you a good example of the air right now that's causing these balls to go. Normally that would be a regular fly ball, but this wind is really pushing balls an additional 15, 20 feet. Great job by Calhoun, though, going for it. We see sliding it at home. That's an example of something we never want to do, ever. But sometimes you get excited, and the reason why is because you just don't want to get a catcher to step on your neck and break your shoulder or something.
Right, and the head first dive into home.
Well, let's take a look here really quickly. It kind of looks like he did something, and
Brett Eibner.
Just for kids at home, kids and grown-ups that play professional sports, there's never really a chance or a good time to dive at home plate for this exact reason.
Did he maybe catch his hand on the spike?
Well, if you see his right hand, you see it taped up a little bit. Maybe he jammed his wrist. Oh, that's wrist. Left wrist.
First pitch to Moncreter. Gets away from the catcher, Barnes. Nobody advances. Well, UCLA has just jumped out in front of Cal State Fullerton, now 7-6 in the top of the ninth. And again, we're looking at Brett Eibner in the dugout for Arkansas. Nobody out. Infield playing back, willing to give up the run for a double play. Fastball is on the outside corner. Creeder struck out his first time up. A leadoff walk to Eibner has come around to score. Back-to-back singles. Fastball blown right by Moncreter. One-two. Did he check the appeal? He did, says the first base umpire, Mitch Milley. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Moncreter.
Well, we talked earlier in the game with nobody out, and we'll take a look here really quickly to see a check swing. He didn't go. It's a good call. But right here, you're not allowed to strike out with a man on third base and nobody out. Just as a hitter, you choke up, you battle, you do whatever you can to put that ball in play. Good job.
Right. Emergency hack right there.
It doesn't matter. It just, with this, you've got to put the ball in play. You have to force the defense to get you out. And you never want to hit into a double play, but a double play does score a run. You can't strike out because then no run scores. So battle, fight, scratch, crawl, I don't care what you do.
Another 2-2. Fastball freezes him on the outside corner. Sixth strikeout for Seth Blair, the first out here in the fourth.
Well, I certainly know how this feels. That ball's up and away. I don't think it's a strike. If you're calling that a strike, it's going to be a very long day. But shoot, I know exactly what it's like to walk back to the dugout like that. I've struck out with man on third base and nobody out. Shoot, a lot of times, and every single time, I'm walking back just going, you're not allowed to strike out with a man on third and nobody out.
First pitch slider to James McCann, misses for ball 1. McCann singled his first time up. 1 run in here in the 4th inning for Arkansas. An RBI single by Bo Bingham to the wall in right center field. Breaking ball in there, strike 1. This is a small ballpark, 338 on the lines, but 368 in the power alleys and 395 straightaway center field. The wind is blowing out to right field. With the power of this Arkansas team now down by just 2 runs, it's the answer points. And that hits James McCann to load the bases. Both pitchers are hurting themselves by walks and hit batters. A leadoff walk here to Eibner in this 4th inning. Now a hit batter to James McCann. You look back to what Mike Bolsinger has done. In the 3rd inning, he walked 3 batters, 2 runs scored. In the 2nd, walked leadoff batter, that run scored. And now it's up to Matt Vinton to see what he can do.
Well, anytime you walk a guy or hit a guy, you just gave the other team a hit. You essentially put him on. There was no way to defend it. You're giving the offense extra chances, and when you're doing that in postseason, bad things can happen.
1 ball, no strikes to Vincent, who struck out his first time up. That fastball catches the outside corner, according to the home plate umpire Perry Costello. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fastball is high and outside, 2-1. A double play gets Seth Blair out of this inning with just one run coming across. But Blair having difficulty controlling that fastball. Even the ones that are strikes are very close to being balls.
Well, now also with the bases loaded, Blair just goes ball on his 1-1 swing count pitch.
Fastball is inside and low, now 3-1.
Well, Vincent right here, everybody in the park, people at home, all know he's going to get a fastball. And what he wants to do is make sure he doesn't jump too much on this thing and pull it foul. But he does want to hit a ball in that hole.
Outside, ball 4, walks in a run. Game 1 of a best-of-3 in the Tempe Super Regional here at Packard Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. It is Arkansas against the top seed Arizona State Sun Devils. Justin Kutcher alongside Morgan Ensberg. 3-2 now. Bases still loaded. Only one out. And Tim Carver at the plate.
So, partner, we have one out, a right-handed batter. What does he want to do?
Let the ball come to him and take it the other way.
That's right. He wants to hit a ball to the right side. The reason why is because if he hits a ball to the right side, he'll be able, with the momentum that he goes towards first base, to beat it out. If he pulls it, he will be coming off the ball, and his momentum will be moving towards third base, which makes him slower down the line.
He pulls it to third base. They go to second for the out. They get it, but they cannot turn a double play.
Or you could be as fast as Vincent and just be able to hit a ground ball. So good job right there. Vincent really using his speed and taking advantage and gets the tying run.
How about the answer by the Razorbacks here in the 4th inning?
Well, we'll see right here. Vincent, and this is a very actually good play right there by Torres. Good turn by McPhee, but speed kills. Walking and hitting guys kill.
A fielder's choice 5-4 RBI for Carver. Tie game, 1st and 3rd and 2 outs. And Colin Kuhn coming up.
Maybe I should have said guys with average or below average speed, not jets, need to hit the ball on the ground to the right side because of momentum.
But also, I mean, that was a difficult play. It took a topspin hop against the third baseman Torres, so he has to back up. That takes a bit more time, and a long throw across to second base.
I guess that was sort of a perfect storm right there, and if it's a regular routine, maybe he gets double up.
Fastball in the inside corner, 1-1. 30th pitch of the inning coming up now for Seth Blair. First 3 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Here in the 4th, 2 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, a strikeout, and a hit batter. After a long layoff in the bottom half of the 3rd. High and outside, 2-1.
So there we go again. So now, after repeating those stats, you're seeing also Blair now is having a struggle at the swing count, the 1-1 count. It's causing him to work harder, and batters know what's coming.
In there for strike 2.
And I should say they don't know what pitch, but they know that a strike is coming.
We should also say this. Now that Arkansas has tied it up, Jeremy Heatley continues to throw in the bullpen for the Razorbacks. I think Heatley's coming in, Bolsinger's coming out. They need to kind of settle this thing down to the Razorbacks now that they're back in it with a tie game.
I like it, partner.
2-2. Just missing, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The runner from first base will now be off. Tim Carver with a pitch.
People at home or kids at home have learned now. So he goes 2-2 fastball down and in. This is going to allow him to throw an off-speed pitch because the runner is going to wait until he pitches the ball and take off. So essentially there's an open base here. So this is a perfect off-speed count.
There is the off-speed pitch. Pop up first base. Ricio Torres in foul territory makes the catch. But Arkansas answers right back from the Sun Devils after they scored 2 in the bottom half of the 3rd. Arkansas strikes back with 3 in the 4th. An RBI single by Bo Bingham. Scores the run, and then the RBI ground out, fielder's choice, 3-3 as we go to the bottom half of the 4th.
Steve Bunin in studio. Over on ESPNU, Cal State Fullerton was 1 out from the College World Series, but UCLA second baseman Tyler Ramatula gives the Bruins a 1-run lead. Now the Titans are coming up in the bottom of the ninth. They can find a way to walk off. They're headed to Omaha.
Thank you very much, Steve. UCLA going up over Cal State Fullerton, trying to extend that series to a third game. Congratulations to Florida, who defeated Miami 2-0. They have punched their ticket to the College World Series, the last season being played at Rosenblatt Stadium. Texas TCU tied at 1. Vanderbilt and Florida State also tied at 1. The College World Series begins June 19th, 2 p.m. Eastern. The new pitcher to the game is Jeremy Heatley. Heatley in 23 appearances, 5-0 with a 4.15 ERA. 12 walks against 44 strikeouts. A 6'2", 215-pound senior from Breckenridge, Texas. 22nd round pick by the Florida Marlins. Mike Bolsinger went 3 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts, 73 pitches. But again, this is one of those situations for Arkansas where Dave Van Horn, his team has now tied the game up against a pitcher who's undefeated in Seth Blair. Because Bolsinger has struggled with his command, he needs somebody to come in, throw strikes, let their defense do the work, and try to let the offense, which is so good, put some more runs on the board.
First pitch strikes. First pitch strikes are the key.
First pitch fastball is down low to Drew Maggi. Maggi is 0 for 2, a line out to center, a fly out to right.
We spoke about this in the open, but Arizona State with Maggi and McPhee, when they get on base, Arizona State goes. So it's important for Heatley to just bear down, see if he can get a ground ball and get this first out.
2-0 fastball is in there, 2-1. Bottom half of the 4th inning, 3-3 ball game between Arkansas and Arizona State. Line drive, right field, slicing foul out of play.
Well, that really showed me something right there with Heatley. Immediately going 2-1 with the slider. So Arizona State fans or the guys that are in the dugout will be noticing, okay, that's interesting, 2-1 slider. That's something that we're going to want to put in the back of our heads and know that that's probably his best pitch.
That was a hanging breaking ball. Stays 2-2 here to Drew Maggi. Maggi, McPhee, Calhoun here in the 4th for Arizona State. Cal State Fullerton threatening there in the 9th. Runner on first base, 1 out, down by 1 against UCLA. Ground ball, left side, shortstop, Carver. Not going to beat out the speedy Maggi. Infield single for Drew Maggi.
Well, Heatley decides to go slider, and you see right here, that's just a great play, but again, speed kills, and nobody did anything wrong there. Everybody did everything right. You just, Maggi put it in the perfect spot. So we'll see right here, and this is what it looks like with a right-handed batter going about 4 seconds down the line. I should say that the average runner in the big leagues runs about 4.3.
Zach McPhee, a big swing and a miss.
And that includes right-handed and left-handed batters, so the average right-handed batter is probably closer to 4.4.
Maggi, 8th player in school history to steal 20 bases in consecutive seasons. Has 34 this year. Up high, 1 ball and 1 strike to Zach McPhee. Now we should say this on that play by Tim Carver at shortstop. Andy Wilkins, who's usually a first baseman, playing third base with Zach Cox out. Maybe if Zach Cox is at third base, he has the range and makes that play and cuts it off before it goes to the shortstop.
Maybe, but just from watching the ball, it just is one of those dead man, you know, just zones where, excuse me, not dead man, no man's land.
Yep.
where if you hit it there and you've got speed like Maggi does, it's just going to be very difficult. The only thing I can think of is if you ask your shortstop to pinch or to come up more, take a step in.
Check on the runner back at first, just getting back safely is Maggi. Speaking to Tim Esme, the head coach for Arizona State, he said if Drew Maggi gets on, he's going to run. I said, does he have the green light? He said, he's going to run.
Exactly. I loved it.
Pop up left field. Kuhn coming in. Not going to get there in time. Back-to-back singles. That's twice now we've seen late breaks by outfielders on shallow fly balls.
Well, it's very difficult here right now with the sky. This is what's called a high sky, or guys will call it blue sky. It's difficult to see the ball off the bat. You need really for the sun to keep on going down so that it becomes dark. But that ball again, you go Maggi hits the ball perfectly in the 5-6 hole. You come back perfectly hitting really a jam shot fly ball. Nobody's done anything wrong.
Now it's first and second, nobody out for Cole Calhoun. Calhoun, all he did was hit 3 home runs in the regional.
Well, Cole Calhoun is a postseason complete hero. Last year batting close to a little bit over 500 in the World Series, mashing balls all over the yard, and that's what big time players do. When you get to the postseason, you come in big games, they rise to the occasion, and Cole Calhoun's definitely one of those guys.
563, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs last year at Omaha. Slug 1250.
That's amazing.
Jeremy Heatley's 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. So Heatley came in for Mike Bolsinger. Bolsinger went 3 innings, and Heatley gives up an infield single to Drew Maggi. Nothing he can do, wasn't hit hard. Then a little flare by Zach McPhee, wasn't hit hard. And now he's fallen behind in the count, 2-0 to Cole Calhoun with Ricio Torres on deck. Again, danger zone. It seems like every inning there's a danger zone for this Arkansas defense.
Well, but Cole Calhoun is going to come out of his shoes right here.
Taking the inside fastball.
Again, with now still 2-1 as a batter, you're looking exactly where you want to, the pitch. But that's a fastball in. I don't think that's a strike, but
neither does Calhoun.
But that's the advantage of being up 2-0. You can let a pitch go. Calhoun's definitely going to take a huge cut.
There it was, fouls it back off speed pitch, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mike Bolsinger looking on anxiously, hoping his teammate Jeremy Heatley can come in and help him out.
Well, we know from earlier in this inning with Heatley, he liked his slider. He threw a 2-1 slider after he had thrown, fastball strike. So we'll see right now if he decides to go backdoor slider right here, 2-2.
Doesn't go backdoor, goes back foot, and now it's 3-2. And Cal State Fullerton has just tied UCLA at 7. Runner on third. Chance to get a walk-off win and advance to Omaha. Three balls, 2 strikes to Calhoun. Nobody out. Runners on first and second here in the bottom half of the 4th inning.
Earlier in the game, we saw a similar situation where the runners went. It'll be interesting with Calhoun being a left-handed batter if they decide to do that again.
And Jeremy Heatley aware of that. To the spin move to second base to see if the runners would leave a bit early.
The difficult part is that you've got 2 great runners on base, 2 very fast runners.
Again, it's been moved. Honestly, I don't send him here.
I wouldn't send them there, but just earlier in the game we saw an example of it. So
no, I know. I'm just saying, for me, I wouldn't, because you've got Torres coming up behind him.
And Torres is on fire.
Right. I don't want to run into an out right now if I am Arizona State.
Well, and also when you have a left-handed batter, it makes it easier for a catcher to throw down to third.
The runners go. Pulled foul. Well, what do we know?
Well, a lot of it does have to do with, Coach Esme's decision on, does Calhoun strike out a lot? Is he a swing and miss type guy, or is he a guy that puts the ball in play? If you believe that he's going to swing and put the ball in play, obviously it's a good idea because he's a left-handed batter, and most left-handed batters tend to pull the ball. So it's almost like a hit and run.
35 strikeouts and 209 at-bats coming into this game. Runners go again. Strike 3, throw down. It is a strike him out, throw him out, double play.
And therein lies kind of the decision. You try to be aggressive and you try as best you can to be, smart and almost use probability. And here you have a fastball in, which is just filthy. And then you see what happens when there's a left-handed batter and a guy at second steals.
And this is close. Heads up play by Maggi.
That was a good play.
But now you run yourself into a double play. Mauricio Torres comes out and a runner on at second base and 2 outs. Gets away from the catcher McCann, his throw down, and good base running there by McPhee, taking the extra base.
That really is amazing base running. A good rule of thumb for you runners at second base, or you people at home, is that if you read ball in the dirt and you see a good secondary with McPhee right there, but a good rule of thumb is that if you see ball in the dirt and you see the ball kicked towards the first base side, take off. If you see it kicked towards the third base side, stay at home. Of course, McPhee's just super fast and didn't want to obey those rules. But that's what happens when you're that fast.
Exactly. That was like you.
Yeah.
24-game hitting streak here for Mauricio Torres. Singled his last time up, scored on a 2-run single by Devin Marrero. Popped up.
They can't see it.
In the outfield, second base, Bigham. Drops it, and the run scores.
So this is what we're talking about. This is a flat-out routine fly ball. But again, you guys can't see the sky, but he can't see the ball. The sky needs to get darker.
Error charged to Bo Bigham. 4-3, Arizona State goes back on top. Now Johnny Rudiger steps in. A pitch out. You've played here. You've played in this stadium. And I believe you said to me last night, a night game here can be treacherous.
Oh, it's horrible. I mean, it's very difficult. The lights are low. And when you have this summer and these start times, you reach this point right here. Another good point, as we see right there, the wind is pushing balls towards right field. It just is a nightmare.
2 balls and no strikes to Rudiger.
But I think most importantly is that identifying that it's the blue sky. I'm telling you, Bingham didn't see it. It's amazing that he got that close. Honestly, I've played here. It's shocking that he was even anywhere near that ball. And the reason why you saw him stab it is because he picked it up with, say, 20 feet to go.
Fastball in the outside corner, 2-1. Just when it looks like Arkansas is going to get out of this inning. They had first and second, nobody out. 3-2 pitch to Calhoun. The runners go. It's a strike him out, throw him out, double play, runner on second, 2 outs. And Mauricio Torres pops it up to shallow right field. Looks like a routine play, but like you said, with the sky, the wind, It leads to an error by Bo Bigham in the run scoring 4-3.
You know what's interesting about whenever you have a blue sky like this or a high sky, it's that normally only one team has to deal with it. That half inning is the window, and then the team that's on offense goes out there and it's already dark.
A bunt attempt by Rudiger is foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Does that make any?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like,
oh yeah, it's like when you're playing an afternoon game and the shadows are moving in.
Exactly.
And then that one team at the plate has it, and the next team, shadows are gone.
That's right. So if the timing is right, normally only one team has to deal with that high sky or the blue sky.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom half of the 4th inning. Up and in, 3-2. Now Torres will be off with this pitch. This is the view of what the fielders are looking at.
And you'll see this yellow right back above home plate, right there above, you know, right to the left of those mountains. You see that yellow, or, you know, the sun has not gotten down. The sky is still very bright.
Runner goes, 3-2, breaking ball is outside, ball 4.
So right now, Heatley needs just a talking to. He's pitching with tons of emotion, which is good, but you want to make sure you harness it, and Heatley hasn't done anything wrong. He's got to recognize that he's not done anything wrong.
Devin Marrero, last time up, 2-0, drives it the other way, 2-run score. That made it 3-0 at the time. Now it's 4-3, Arizona State leading over Arkansas here in the first of the best of 3 Super Regional here in Tempe, Arizona. Arizona State, the top overall seed. We've already seen the number 3 overall seed, Florida, advance the College World Series. Marrero now batting .399. A hit here should bring his average up over 400. The freshman All-American. He was slated to actually be the starting shortstop here tonight, but that was because Arizona State thought that Arkansas was going to throw their ace, Drew Smiley, a left-hander. And the slider's in there for strike 1. "26 pitches.
That's a lot of pitches in 1 inning. And that causes off-speed pitches not to be as sharp. You know, pitchers just get tired. This is a very dangerous time right now for the Razorbacks.
Which is the 2nd time we've said that in this inning. And I think the 3rd or 4th time we said it in this game already. This game is almost 2 hours old, and we are only in the bottom half of the 4th inning.
Well, and you're right. I mean, those are free passes, the hit by pitch, the getting behind in counts.
A lot of men left on base already. 6 so far for Arizona State. Make it now 8 after the strikeout to Devin Marrero. But Arizona State takes the lead. A little pop-up, high sky, the error. The run scores 4-3. Arizona State goes up on top of Arkansas. When we come back, we will speak with the head coach for the Sun Devils, Tim Esme. Top of the 5th, 4-3, Arizona State leading Arkansas. We're now joined by the head coach for the Sun Devils, Tim Esme. And Coach, thanks for joining us. Been kind of a crazy game so far. No team is able to take control. What's it going to take for you guys to get into a flow here?
Well, I just think, you know, this is this time of year, and, you know, we want to make sure that the door is just a crack. We don't want that door to fly wide open, so we just got to keep battling. We know that nobody's going to go away this time of year. We just got to come back. I was proud of our guys last inning, had good ABs, and, you know, had fortunate to score a run. So we're just going to keep playing, and we're going to keep making plays, and you know, hopefully Seth will go out and settle in this inning and take it from there.
Hey, Coach, I was wondering, with Blair, how do you settle him down? Earlier on, he was getting ahead of the count. Now he seems to be falling behind.
Yeah, it's just, you know, slowing him down a little bit, pitch by pitch. And, you know, sometimes he tries to pitch too fine. And I think sometimes we got to get him to trust his stuff and pound the zone early. And then he can do what he wants late in the count.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thanks, guys.
Seth Blair, 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. He's thrown 81 pitches already. Coming into this game, 12-0 with a 3.06 ERA. 98 strikeouts in 97 innings entering this. Zach Cox steps in, takes the first pitch for a ball, 1-0. Cox, the DH in tonight's game. Singled his first time up. Grounded out to first his last time up. Fastball inside out to left field. That falls in for a base hit. Rudiger cuts it off. Cox is going for 2, and he's going to be in there safely. The leader of this team trying to set the tone now for his teammates. The first extra base hit of the game for either team.
Well, right here again, this is why you see a first rounder who's a lefty who's able to go to left center. He's going full tilt out of the box. That ball again, he really likes that ball down. And there's no denying he's going to second no matter what. Pressing the issue, being a leader. That's why they put that C on his shoulder.
13th double of the year for Zach Cox. Now Brett Eibner steps in. And the first pitch is down low. Second straight batter that Blair has started off 1-0. Eibner walked, scored his last time up. Scored the first run of the game for this Arkansas team.
Well, due to the power of Twitter, I actually got a response here, and Eibner broke his wrist and has been playing with that for the last 4 weeks. So I guess I should rather say fracture. And then we'll see the slide, which is kind of, you know, complicating things. That looks like a double problem.
One sliders outside, 2-1.
Social media, you get all kinds of information.
You're the man.
Well, no, the people on the computer are. Way to go.
2 balls and a strike here to Eibner. One of the big power guys in this lineup for Arkansas. Inside fastball, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, runner on second, nobody out top of the 5th. Laying off that breaking ball is Eibner, now 3-2.
You know, I think that was the first time I remember at least seeing a changeup. He went 2-2 changeup right there. I thought he was working more slider, but maybe I missed a pitch, but I don't remember seeing a changeup.
The 3-2, fastball, pulled, third base, base hit. Cox rounds third, he's going to score. Eibner heading for second. An RBI double, we're tied up again.
Well, big-time games, you're looking for big-time players. Eibner's showing just that. After laying off an amazing 2-2 changeup, he'll end up getting a fastball, and he yanks this down the line and hits it right over the bag. And that's what a athlete looks like. You have to be 6'4", and you have to run about a 6'6", and you have to throw 98 miles per hour off the mound. You should all be getting your autographs from both the guy that just scored and the guy standing at second base, because you will see them in the big leagues.
Andy Wilkins takes the first pitch for a strike. Back-to-back doubles. The hustle plays by Cox and Eibner. And give credit to Zach Cox, because he got to second on that leadoff hit, taking the extra base, hustling out of the box. It's a tie game.
That's right, and I think Cox's example of being aggressive right there shows how difficult it is to throw strikes to bases. You know, it's tough for outfielders also. You saw a relay right there. It's still hard to throw strikes to bases and cause outs.
Wilkins pops it up, shallow left field. Maggi going out. Makes the catch for the first down. Let's go back to the studio and check in with Steve Bunin for an update.
What a wild game in Los Angeles. UCLA, a ground ball from forcing a Game 3 against Cal State Fullerton. Titans call for a double steal. The guys on first and second. Throw gets away. Gary Brown, the pinch runner's playing with a broken hand, scores. This game is tied at 7 on ESPNU. We're in the top of the 10th.
A great game out there at UCLA. We've got a good one going here in Arizona. Bo Bingham. Ball gets away from the catcher. Barnes taking the extra base is Brett Eibner. So after the batter, Wilkins can't get the runner over to third base with an out, a productive out. It's now, I believe, going to be rolled a pass ball, charged against Austin Barnes that advances the runner. Now, a fly ball with the infield playing back, even a ground ball to the middle infield will give Arkansas its first lead of the game.
That's right. Well, Bingham right here wants to take a look at the defense and see that the middle infielders are back. So his goal is to hit a ground ball up the middle to score the runner at third.
Fouls it back. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I suppose that you could make a choice. Bingham could be saying, if I get the ball up, then I'm trying to drive the ball to the outfield, or I'm trying to get the ball down and I want to keep it up the middle. But you cannot do both. You have to decide as a batter, am I going to go for the high ball or am I going to try to hit the ground ball?
Foul down the right field line. Arkansas this season, when scoring 2 runs or less, 0-12. When scoring 3+, 43-7. Right now it's 4-4, top of the 5th inning. And they're trying to take their first lead of the game.
What's amazing is that you see those 3+ runs in the SEC, which is generally a high scoring type league. It's just amazing because that shows that Arkansas really bears down, plays solid defense once they get that lead.
Bingham already 2 for 2, looking for his 3rd hit, and he gets it. Ground ball up the middle, and Arkansas takes the 1-run lead.
These are things right here that I hope the people at home are recognizing is unbelievable baseball. To hit a ground ball up the middle, to have an approach, to have an idea, and then battle your tail off, take the fastball and you foul it away. Come back right here with the curveball, keeps his hands back, and ends up getting the go-ahead run. Hero.
And think about how the 4th run scored for Arizona State. Who couldn't handle the fly ball? Bingham. Who comes up big again? Bingham.
I'm sure we could have inserted some neat play on words with Bingham right there, like big play, big something, but I held back.
With your shirt tonight, I thought you were going to come up with it.
Well, I'm the color guy. Was that quick enough?
That was quick enough, yes.
Thanks. I wish you guys could see my shoes.
The blue, what are those? Blue Colons.
Blue,
nice.
Yeah, blue boat shoes.
I like them. A meeting out in the mound. Ken Knutson comes out to speak with Seth Blair. There is action in the bullpen. Brady Rogers throwing for Arizona State. It's crazy to think about what has happened in this game. You go back. This is the Hawk Suey chant.
Well, this is just amazing. Let me tell you something. Arkansas is here in full force, and this is a tough crowd, by the way. It's so great. That's what's so awesome about college baseball is that fans around the country rally, and Arkansas gets players from all over the country. We talked about that with Coach Van Horn, excuse me.
Well, ESPN's AL-NL Showdown begins Sunday and Monday night. First on ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. Odds Guillen's White Sox face their intra-city rivals, the Cubs, then catch 2 of the best hitters in the game. On ESPN's Monday Night Baseball at 7 Eastern as Ichiro and the Mariners take on Albert Pujols and the Cardinals. The ball again gets away from the catcher Barnes. Nobody advances. Both games part of the AL-NL Showdown presented by State Farm and available on ESPN3.com Sunday and Monday.
I'm just so impressed with Bingham's at bat. I just think, coaches at home and stuff right now are hoping that their players are watching what he just did.
Bingham takes off. Pop up behind the plate. Barnes going back for a look. That will reach the seats.
You just love seeing solid play. I think that's a great example of having a plan, having an idea, and executing the plan. And you know what? If he ends up getting out right there, but he was going for the plan, that happens.
Well, if he grounds out up the middle, the run scores.
That's right. So he's making it so that even his error, an error or a miss still scores a run.
Line drive, center field. Applin spins around, makes the catch. 2 away here in the 5th. It's one of those tough plays. Line drive hit right at you.
Well, and let me tell you something. This is great. The fact that Applin decides to go 360. A lot of kids will end up backpedaling. Outfielders, you're never allowed to backpedal. You have to turn your body. And that is done through practice, practice, practice. If you start backpedaling, you will miss the ball. I mean, you might catch it, every single time, or excuse me, all the time up into this point. But I promise you, there will be a time where you're going to trip. Something's going to happen.
James McCann, runner on first, 2 outs. And Blair steps off. McCann 1 for 1, a single hit by a pitch his last time up. 9-7, UCLA has just taken a lead back against Cal State Fullerton in the 10th inning.
Yeah, it's like a slap fight.
It's back and forth, back and forth. UCLA trying to extend that series to a Game 3 tomorrow. We saw Cal State Fullerton last week. After the first game and a half, they really started to pick up their play.
Oh, well, they did what Arizona State does, which is that aggressive base running. It was so fun to watch.
Pitch out, throw down to first base. Good stop by Torres. We've already seen Austin Barnes pick off a runner at first base and throw out a runner trying to attempt to steal at second base.
Well, as a base runner at first base, what you're trying to do kind of is peek in and see if you can see the catcher's signs and see if you can get an off-speed pitch. Now, you decide before you step off the base whether or not you're going to peek. You don't just go out there without a plan. You decide. And then you also need to look at the scouting report, and have an understanding of if Seth Blair will pick early, like that. Meaning before he becomes set.
How detailed can these scouting reports be, especially when it's Pac-10 versus SEC?
The college scouting reports that I saw at SC, this is back from 95 to 98, were more detailed than any I saw in the big leagues.
Wow. A little shot out to center field. Applin there, and that will do it here for the 5th. But Arkansas again answers back. Back-to-back doubles to open the inning by Cox and Eibner. Then the RBI single by Bo Bingham. And before you know it, the Arkansas Razorbacks go up 5-4. When we come back, we will talk with the head coach for the Razorbacks, Dave Van Horn. Those ASU fans not looking too happy right now as Arkansas has taken its first lead of the game 5-4 as we go to the bottom half of the 5th inning, and we're now joined by the head coach for the Razorbacks, Dave Van Horn. And Coach, thanks for joining us. A crazy game here. It's going back and forth. You guys now take the lead. Take us through your decision to pull your starter Mike Bolsinger and bring in your reliever Heatley.
Well, that was a pretty easy decision. I mean, here we are in the middle of the game. We're still in it. We've walked 6, made 2 errors. We might have walked 7 by now. So, he was up around 80 pitches. He just didn't have it tonight. So, give credit to our guys for hanging in there.
Hey, Coach, Zach Cox, again, just showing what he does best is hitting. But how about that base running right there? Is that something you guys practice in practice, I should say?
Well, he's got some good instincts. He felt like he could get there, get a leadoff double for us, and it paid off with that, scoring a run there. He's just a good player. He's a good baseball player.
All right, Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thank you.
Bottom 5, it'll be the bottom third of the order for Arizona State. Raul Torres, Andrew Applin, and Austin Barnes against Jeremy Heatley. Zach Cox, .430 average now with 9 homers and 48 RBIs. That .430 average leads the SEC. Can you believe that's 20th in Division I?
I was going to bring it up if you did. That is ridiculous.
Wow. First pitch slider. Swung on a miss by Raul Torres. Torres had an RBI single back in the 2nd. Struck out his last time up.
Getting back, though, to Coach Van Horn, talking to him yesterday, he was a guy that I would want to play for.
Pop up to second. Bigham makes the play. 1 away.
I mean, didn't you get that sense of, look, we're under control. He's got an idea. He's got a plan. He knows how to develop guys. And I don't know, I just felt like there was a tremendous amount of good humbleness, but confidence.
Yes, I think you put it exactly right. There's humbleness, but there's confidence. They know they're good.
Yeah.
They know they can play with anybody in the country, and they're showing it right now.
Well, and the other part, too, is that, you know, those kids that we interviewed were so humble and so nice. I was like, man.
In the air, deep right center field by Applin. That's going to head off the warning track to the wall. Applin's going to stop at second base with a one-out double. Third double of the season for Andrew Applin. Brings the tying run to second.
Well, we'll see right here. Now, this is an off-speed pitch, a curveball that's left up just a little bit, and Applin does a good job of keeping his hands back. And then he ends up hitting this perfectly. But let me tell you something. Eibner almost gets this ball. I mean, that ball one-hopped right there. I don't know. I just have been so impressed with, you know, both sides. But that Eibner kid, oof.
Covered a lot of ground. Austin Barnes. This is down low, ball one. Barnes 0 for 2. Flew out to right field, grounded out to shortstop his last time up. 5-4, bottom half of the 5th inning here in game 1 of the Tempe, Arizona Super Regional between Arkansas and Arizona State. Line drive, center field. Eibner is there. Tagging, testing the arm of Eibner. Aggressive base running by Andrew Applin. But in center field, Eibner may have one of the strongest arms of any center fielder in college baseball.
You know, I think that might be a good example of something working out, but probably wasn't the correct idea. The only reason right now that Abner's out is because, excuse me, sorry. The only reason why Applin is out is because Eibner caught the ball on his heels. With one out, you want to be part way. You don't want to take the chance of making the first or third out at third base. Being at second base, you're already in scoring position. So it's too much risk for the reward.
Drew Maggi takes the first pitch down low and inside. Maggi was the first batter that Jeremy Heatley faced. He had an infield single. Runner on third, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
So maybe just I can briefly go over the rewards right now for Arizona State is that, you know, with Appler doing that, he now limits pitchers from throwing balls in the dirt. So that is a positive. But he was already in scoring position at second base anyway, so he was going to be spinning no matter what happened.
In the air, center field. Eibner going back, has a beat on it, makes the play. So no runs on 1 hit, 1 man left on base. We are through 5 complete here in Tempe. It is 5-4, Arkansas on top of Arizona State. To ESPNU's coverage of the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. 2 runs in the 5th after 3 in the 4th for Arkansas. A Brett Eibner double has given the Razorbacks the 1-run lead. A new pitcher to the game for Arizona State. It is the right-hander Brady Rogers. Rogers on the season 4-3 with a 1.96 ERA. He has appeared in 20 games, 69 innings, 47 hits, 21 runs, 15 earned, 11 walks, 66 strikeouts. First batter he faces, Matt Vincent. There are the numbers on Rogers, a freshman, 6'2", 173 pounds. Hit deep to right field by Vincent. That one is out of here. The third home run of the season for Matt Vincent, and he greets Brady Rogers very rudely.
Well, here we go. This is what happens when you get that ball up towards the belt. You see that front foot getting down, allows his hands to stay back, and again with the separation. Now this ball would have gone out no matter what, but that was a second fence homer. That ball's on the street right now. They're taking pictures of it with that, whatever that camera thing is that keeps on flashing out there. Well, we spoke with Coach Van Horn, who was saying that, you know, if they can get by Arizona State tonight, they feel like they're in a great position with their ace going tomorrow.
Ground ball back to Rogers. Good play for the first out here in the 6th. Coach Van Horn made a decision not to start his ace Drew Smiley here in the first game. He said game 2 is the most important game in a 3-game series. So this decision was twofold. One is that Drew Smiley threw 2 games in the regional. He came in relief in the game on Monday. So by not starting him here in this game, there is Drew Smiley. You give him an extra day's rest. But also what you do is if you lose this game, you come back with your ace in game 2 against the number 2 pitcher for Arizona State. If you win this game, you have a chance to close the door with your ace in game 2.
I think it's brilliant, and when it was coming out of Coach Van Horn's mouth, I just was amazed with just how pragmatic he was and that he really had a plan. Then when we interviewed the players, they were backing up the same thing.
Fisted to first base. Torres unassisted, 2 away.
I mean, their players are really locked into the plan. Of course, a local kid, Little Rock, Arkansas, we asked him, you know, what school did you want to go to? And he didn't really know. And finally, when it was, you know, time turn, he was like, hey, Razorbacks all the way.
Well, it's kind of funny because his first choice, he grew up.
Be careful here.
I know, I'm going to say it though. He said it to us, so we can say it. He grew up an Alabama fan, and then he went to Arkansas, and he has loved his decision to go to Arkansas.
Well, listen, I lived in Texas for a long time, and I'm not suggesting that Texas is any other state, but when you start saying that you actually love Oklahoma, that's a bad thing. And I have the same feeling about Alabama and Arkansas.
Back-to-back plays to Torres to end the inning, but another run on the board. Matt Vincent leading off in the 6th against Brady Rogers. Goes deep to right field. We head to the bottom half of the 6th, 6-4, Arkansas on top.
Steve Bunin in studio. It is finally over in Los Angeles. Trevor Brown, a pinch hit 2-run single to make it 9-7 in the 10th inning with 2 out. UCLA tacks on 2 more runs and wins to force a game 3 tomorrow, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on ESPNU. And Florida advances to Omaha with a 4-3 win in 10 innings over Miami. Guys,
tomorrow night, congratulations to Florida, who has already advanced to Omaha. TCU and Texas tied at 1. Vanderbilt, Florida State tied at 1. So far, Florida, the only team that has swept here in the Super Regionals. The Sun Devils and the Sun Devil looking on here, bottom of the 6th inning. Matt Vincent with a home run in the top half of the inning. And the first pitch to Zach McPhee is taken outside for ball 1.
Well, if we go over our game recap, or if not game recap, but you know, keys to the game, we know that Arkansas, if they hit a home run, I mean, it's almost a lock that they win the game, right?
Yeah.
48-7.
And frankly, right now, if you're Arkansas, I wouldn't be surprised. First sign of trouble for Jeremy Heatley, that there would be action in the bullpen.
I stand corrected. 37-8.
Foul ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The numbers you were talking about, 37-8 when they hit a home run, 6-11 when they don't. Well, they got a home run in the top half of the inning, now leads 6-4.
That's just an amazing stat. Well, those 2 stats right there. That you're 37-8 when you hit a home run.
1-2 curveball, strike 3.
You see this consistent approach against McPhee, which is slider. Now, if you remember, last time he struck out, they were starting him off with sliders, and then they went to fastball away. Here, slider really all over the plate. I think he was thinking fastball away like his previous at bat.
It's a good pitch from Jeremy Heatley. One away now for Cole Calhoun. 0 for 1 with 2 walks.
I think you can just kind of see the confidence that Cole Calhoun is, another captain guy that he has. He is definitely a leader on this team.
Bounce foul, 1 ball and 1 strike. And talk to me about what it must have been like for Cole Calhoun last year as a junior. Goes to Omaha, tears the cover off the ball. The draft is before Omaha, doesn't get picked. He gets picked in the 8th round here. As a senior, getting picked, you had that experience. What was that like?
It was tough my junior year. Now, I didn't do nearly as well as Calhoun did last year, and I can understand how upsetting that is. But, he comes back this year and
rips one to right field. Home run. ASU gets one back with the 17th homer of the season for Calhoun.
Well, that right there, if there's one thing you got to know about this guy, is that he takes a huge cut short to the ball, but he's definitely as a never quit type guy. And right there, that looks like actually a little bit of a cutter. And look at that cut. That's a la Matt Stairs a little bit. I mean, this ball's hammered.
Nick Swisher-esque.
Well done.
Mauricio Torres takes the first pitch down low for ball 1. You had mentioned the players for Arkansas before, how nice they were and how much fun they were to talk to. I thought the ASU guys were great as well.
Oh, man, you couldn't wipe the smiles off their faces.
Ground ball to shortstop, fielded by Carver in the hole. 2 outs.
That right there is what we like to call a plus arm. That was a BB. They must have a phenomenal throwing program over there at Arkansas because that was amazing.
Jeremy Heatley, 45 pitches.
This is what it looks like when Sean Dunston used to throw. Boom. Probably not Sean Dunston. I think he threw like 94 across the diamond. But
Clocked at 100.
oh, forgive me, 100. Now I'm going to get emails that no, it wasn't Sean Dunston. There's nobody. I messed up my words. I slipped.
0-1 to Rudiger, who has walked 3 times in this game, scored a run and stolen a base. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not, says Greg Street at third base. Six to 5 here, bottom half of the 6th inning. 6 runs on 10 hits and 2 errors for Arkansas. 5 runs on 7 hits and 1 error for Arizona State. Big overhand curveball misses up high. 2-1.
So again, Heatley right there, 1-1, goes with the pitch that we've learned now that he really likes. This is the slider, but he goes for a ball. So now he's behind in the count. He's got to really come with a fastball.
Takes something off it, 2-2.
Well, and that was what was brilliant right there, is that turned out to be a changeup. I mean, it's still a 4-seam type pitch. If you've got it, and especially against a left-handed batter, that's amazingly effective. That's an amazing pitch.
The 2-2. Down low, 3 balls and 2 strikes. 1 run in on the solo home run by Cole Calhoun. We've had 2 no doubt abouters here in the 6th inning.
So right here, 2 outs, 3 and 2. You've got a right-handed batter on deck. Don't be surprised if you see an off-speed pitch right here to a left-handed batter.
The 3-2. There is an off-speed pitch.
And the reason being is that it's not as though there's a base open. I mean, of course, there's a base open, but you don't want to ever put the tying run on. But as a right-handed pitcher, you look in the on-deck circle, you see a right-handed batter. You rather go with the matchup right on right. than groove a pitch to a lefty who can hit a ball out of the park.
With the wind blowing out to right field nonetheless.
That's right.
Curveball. Everyone in Arkansas thought it was strike 3. Wow, where was that?
I have no idea where that pitch was.
That may have just fooled Perry Costello behind the plate.
There's no doubt about it. I think that he's expecting a fastball, and I guess he's saying that that pitch is up.
Wow. It's kind of like last week when Steven Strasburg made his major league debut. The home plate umpire was fooled on a couple of his breaking balls earlier, where you were wondering where was that ball.
Well, the only reason I'm wondering is because he has previously called this pitch up. If you remember, earlier in the game, he was calling a pitch that was up and away. So it tells batters that you have to protect against that. So that when he comes out and doesn't call that pitch, now batters are more confused. I mean, they love that he doesn't call it, but you just want to make sure that the strike zone stays wherever it is. I think that ball was up. I mean, I thought at first. I mean, I thought at first it was lower than that. But as a batter, I would have been swinging because he already established that he's calling the high strike. So it's confusion.
Well, that was a 4th walk for Rudiger in this game. And Marrero takes the first pitch high and outside. See, this is one of those situations where if I'm the catcher, McCann, I'm going to go out and talk to Heatley and just say, all right, you know what? Forget about it. Let's concentrate on this guy right here. You've got 2 outs. Let's get this out. We've still got a 1-run lead.
You're right.
Good slider, 1-1.
You know, I'm going back in my head right now thinking about the different pitches. And I distinctly remember a fastball being up by the numbers that was called for a strike 3. And so with that being a off-speed pitch, there's no way that curveball was higher than that fastball earlier on in the game.
Put it this way. It's not too often, you may see a couple guys start walking off the field.
That's
It's
true.
not too often you see all 8 guys.
That was amazing. 8 guys ran off the, yeah, that's a good point. And they have a better angle than we do.
And the ASU fans were standing up looking, where was that?
Well, umpiring's hard.
Popped up right field, playable for Vincent. Vincent makes the catch to end the inning. But Cole Calhoun gets a run back for the Arizona State Sun Devils. No doubt about it, crushed to right field. We played 6. It's 6-5, Arkansas leading Arizona State.
Cinderella wins a national championship. Gone! A grand slam homer! Stanford wins! Old course to the track. Holy cow, what a catch! That's it! LSU wins it!
And coverage of the College World Series begins Saturday, June 19th at 2 p.m. Eastern, live on ESPN HD. For more information, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. We're through 6 innings here. It's 6-5. Arkansas on top of Arizona State. Cole Calhoun, a solo home run in the bottom half of the 6th inning, makes it 6-5. And Brett Eibner, leading off here in the 7th, takes the first pitch for a strike. Eibner, RBI double his last time up, has scored 2 runs in this ball game. Check swing, ground ball to shortstop. Drew Maggi. 1 away. That's not good when you see your player, Brett Eibner, running that far down the line. The guy's been battling hamstring issues.
Well, we'll see right here. That looks a little strange.
Andy Wilkins, first pitch swinging, fouls one off.
Boy, they really have been bit by that injury, bud.
You know, it's one thing to have guys go down. It's another thing to have your 3 best players get hit with it. And not only is Eibner your starting center fielder and 2nd-round pick, but he's also your closer.
That's a good point.
Zach Cox, 1st-round pick. Eibner, 2nd-round pick. Smiley, 2nd-round pick. I should correct myself. Smiley, not a 2nd-round pick this year. He's projected to potentially go in the 1st round next year. So even better.
That is better.
There is Drew Smiley, who will start game 2 tomorrow night. A single for Wilkins. Popped up. We talk about some guys being drafted, so I was right. Drew Smiley was a 2nd-round pick of the Tigers. Cox went in the 1st round, Eibner 2nd, Andy Wilkins 5th round, Bolsinger 15th, Kuhn 15th, Jordan Pratt 16th, and Jeremy Heatley in the 22nd to the Marlins.
Okay, so they only had 8 guys. Only 8 guys got drafted?
Only 8, yeah.
All right. That's amazing.
First pitch for a strike to Montcreter. Creeder is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a line out to center. Ground ball to shortstop. Maggi goes to 2nd for the easy out. No runs on the hit. 1 man left on. Stretch him out. 6-5. Arkansas leads Arizona State. Future Arkansas Razorback cheerleaders, 6-5. The Razorbacks on top of the Arizona State Sun Devils. He is not a future cheerleader, but he is a big fan. Here in the bottom half of the 7th inning, it'll be Torres, Applin, and Barnes against Jeremy Heatley. Raul Torres. The fans behind him after stretching out in the 7th inning stretch. ASU down by 1, bottom of the 7th. Torres, RBI single his first time up, struck out and popped out to 2nd his last time up. Check swing. And that will roll foul, 0-1.
Well, no matter where it is, as long as you get a first pitch strike, that's a good thing. I think it's interesting that he's blowing in his hand when it's 84 degrees out. Must be super hot in Arkansas, huh?
Line drive, right field. Vincent has to fight the lights to make the catch. In a critical game 4, Boston showed its heart in a total team effort. Now it's best out of 3 as the NBA's most storied franchises head for another fantastic finish. Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Lakers Celtics on ABC Sunday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Coverage begins with the GMC Sierra NBA Countdown at 7:30 Eastern. Andrew Applin takes the first pitch for a ball. I think he thought it was a strike.
Man.
There's a curveball for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jeremy Heatley in relief of Mike Bolsinger, 3 1/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. There is some action down in the bullpen. Low and inside, 2-1. It looks to be the right-hander, Jordan Pratt.
It's a large human being right there, number 40.
Jordan Pratt brings Seed out from the bullpen, 92-94 with a good slider. And again, this was one of those situations where Coach Dave Van Horn said, if we're in a position to win, we may empty that bullpen. Again, because we've got game 2, our ace going in Drew Smiley.
Well, it's brilliant. You always coach or manage the game that you have at hand, and anytime you can win, you win. You do whatever you can to win that game.
I think you would have felt a little bit more comfortable had Calhoun not hit that solo home run in the 6th inning to make it a 1-run game. No real margin for error right now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, also, Andrew Applin.
If you think about it, you know, Bolsinger threw that ball away for the double play, and then also had that instance where he didn't end up getting the guy out on the back pick. I mean, those ended up being 3 total runs right there. I mean, so hopefully Arkansas will understand that, you know, they've made some mental errors and made some errors, but, you know, pound for pound, they're playing great baseball.
There is the starter, Mike Bolsinger. Bo Bigham, a couple of big hits. Had the error that led to a run. 3-2.
Oh my gosh.
Down low for a ball, says Perry Costello. He points down. The catcher, James McCann, was all ready to throw the ball around the horn.
This is embarrassing. That's a strike. That's not even, I mean, that's above the knee. And it was down the middle. I don't know what's going on.
I guess everybody has off days.
You kind of hope they don't have them in a regional.
Or a super regional. 1 away, runner on first now for Austin Barnes. A pitch out.
I'm a big proponent of, if a pitcher hits a spot, even if it's borderline, it's a strike. You know, I don't like seeing where catchers, you know, go across the plate or something like that,
right,
and the umpire calls the strike. It's kind of like you're rewarding him for not hitting a spot. I don't know. I mean, I know it's supposed to be black and white, but it isn't. The strike zone is not black and white. For those of you at home who think it is, it's not.
But if a catcher is setting up outside and he reaches back over and it's down the middle.
Yeah, I think he can handle that one.
Yeah.
But I think more like if it's an inside pitch to a right-hander and he reaches back across the plate or something like that, you don't really want to see it.
Up high, 2-0. And this is again where McCann, after a pitch out, now a ball to Austin Barnes. You just go out and settle your pitcher down and say, look, I know that was a strike. We all knew it was a strike, but we got to get this guy right now. We've got 1 out. Let's get a double play ball. Line drive, left field. Kuhn right there. It's a hard hit ball by Austin Barnes.
Well, I think what ends up happening also is that, and what people at home may or may not recognize, is that if somebody makes an error or if somebody misses a call, it's extra bullets for your pitcher.
Yep.
I mean, the pitcher, that means the pitcher is the one that has to deal with throwing however many extra pitches. I mean, hypothetically, all things being equal, and you shouldn't do the woulda, shoulda, coulda, but I mean, this inning's over. We're in the bonus right now as far as pitches. He's going to end up throwing 10 extra pitches if he gets this out.
67 pitches so far for Heatley, and I'm going to go out right now and say I think this is his last batter.
It could be.
If he gets the out, they have the lead going to the 8th. If he gets up a base hit, I think Jordan Pratt comes in.
Well, and also the pitch we're not thinking about was that first pitch looked like a strike to me too. So if it turns out that you're not giving a pitcher 2 close pitches in an at bat, something's up. I mean, I'm not saying something's shady. I just meant that's tough. I mean, you're asking a pitcher, you know, to throw a ball, what, down the middle?
He did that.
Well, then I don't know what else to do.
High and outside, 1-0.
But you're seeing right now, you know, that first pitch right there was a slider. It's just not as sharp, you know, a little bit off. Well, that's extra bullets. Got 3 things for you to look at right there.
Runners going, throw down. And that's a stolen base for Andrew Applin, his 7th of the season. The pitch was a ball, now 2-0.
We'll see a off-speed pitch down, which makes it tough, but boy, what an arm. Center fielders can run, though.
I've been impressed with Applin. He just looks like a baseball player.
He sure is.
2 balls, no strikes to Drew Maggi. Tying a run at second base. Sliders low and outside, 3-0. On deck is Zach McPhee, the Pac-10 Player of the Year.
I think that you pitch around Maggi to get to McPhee. He's had a couple strikeouts today. He's been struggling with the slider. I mean, I know that's crazy, but
no. And then you bring in your reliever.
Well, that's true.
Up and in, ball 4.
I think that's smart pitching.
First and second. Here he comes. Dave Van Horn out to the mound.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if Van Horn waits out there until home plate umpire goes out there.
Warming up in that bullpen is Jordan Pratt. And that will be it for Jeremy Heatley. Pratt is coming out. First and second, 2 outs. Bottom half of the 7th inning. 6-5, Arkansas on top of Arizona State. We'll take a look at Pratt's numbers when we come back. We've got a good one here, 6-5. Bottom of the 7th inning, runners on first and second, 2 outs. Looking at our game summary. Bo Bingham, 3 for 4, 2 RBIs, a run scored. Matt Vincent, a home run. Cole Calhoun, a home run, 2 runs and 2 walks for Arizona State. A new pitcher is out there on the hill. The new pitcher is the right-hander Jordan Pratt, 23 games, 3-1, a 3.72 ERA. 15 walks, 48 strikeouts. A 16th round pick of the Tigers in this year's draft. He comes in for Jeremy Heatley. Heatley talking about that pitch, saying, where was it? 3 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. He got himself out of some jams, and now he's hoping that Jordan Pratt can help him out. The Sun Devils hoping to tie this game up with a Pac-10 Player of the Year, Zach McPhee, at the plate with 3 strikeouts, a single, a run scored. But as you mentioned, Zach McPhee has struggled tonight with the slider. And Jordan Pratt has a good slider, not to mention a fastball, 92-94.
Well, it's just a guy that throws hard, hard, hard.
Fastball, 92, fouled away.
And McPhee's 2 strikeouts today, I remember early on it was a slider. Oh, 3 strikeouts, excuse me. It was slider, fastball. So we'll see, how Pratt attacks right here. I'm sorry, I meant the strikeout pitches. Slider for strikeout, slider, fastball.
Fastball, base hit, left field. Kuhn comes up throwing. Here comes the play at the plate. Out! Colin Kuhn from left field throws out Andrew Applin. Bang play at the plate.
Well, Zach McPhee right here, base hit. And let's check out this throw right here. Got him. Good block.
Huge emotions on both sides. 6-5, Arkansas leading Arizona State. Top of the 8th inning. The play at the plate to end the 7th. The base hit by McPhee. The play at the plate, Applin, the slide, the block. Close, called out.
See if we can see. I got him out.
I think it was a great play all around.
Well, we know it was a great play, but I just don't think that he got his foot there. I think he was blocked just for a split second.
A new pitcher into the game. The new pitcher is Mitchell Lampson, a lefty. And there is a bit of a controversy with Lampson as he entered the game. You could see his hat right there on the left side. He had too much rosin on the hat, so it was too white. So the home plate umpire, Perry Costello, said, you can't pitch with that. And frankly, Costello is right, because that white on the hat would help hide the baseball.
It's a good point. I had never thought of that, but after you say that, I can understand the gripe.
James McCann, first pitch is high and outside for ball 1.
Well, we know, Coach Esman right there went out there and gave more than 2 cents about how he felt about it.
Fastball is in there for a strike, 1-1. James McCann, the catcher who blocked the plate just long enough to tag out the runner, Andrew Applin. 2 balls and a strike. And it's funny, this home plate umpire now is starting to rile up the fans. The ASU fans thought the pitches that were called balls for their team were strikes. And then now the play at the plate, they're not happy about that one. A pop up in a shallow center field. Zach McPhee, he makes the catch for the first out. This again is the throw by the left fielder. Colin Kuhn comes up, throws a strike to the plate. One hop, perfect throw. Good block, and I think he is out.
I know it's close. I just don't think he got to the plate in time. I guess I should have said I think that his foot was blocked. Had, there not been anybody to block it, obviously, I think he would have clearly beat that, but he ran right into McCann's foot.
Vinson, the switch hitter, turns around and out about righty against the lefty, Mitchell Lampson. 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the 8th inning, game 1 of a best of 3 between Arkansas and Arizona State. Great off-speed pitch by Mitchell Lampson. This is a guy who pitches off of that changeup. The 1-2. Another changeup. Got him swinging.
The effectiveness of the changeup has everything to do with arm speed. It's arm speed first, then the actual speed of the ball. And right there, that's what you see, or you see a great changeup when you see fastball arm speed.
Carver takes the first pitch, changeup for a strike.
So that's interesting right there, because that pitch right there was an off-speed pitch that was called high, and previously in the at bat you saw an off-speed pitch, that was high that was called a ball. So it's tough.
That fastball at 86 comes in looking more like 96 after a 68-mile-per-hour pitch. The 0-2 from Lampson. Down low, 1-2.
Well, for those of you at home, if you ever face a guy that has a great changeup, the key is to get the ball up by your belt.
Foul back.
And the reason why you do that is because any pitch that starts at your thigh is going to drop.
Chases the changeup. The first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game for either team. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Arkansas leads Arizona State by 1. Welcome back to ESPNU's coverage of the NCAA Baseball Super Regionals, presented by Capital One. Bottom of the 8th inning, 6-5 ball game. The ASU fans cheering on their Sun Devils. Looking back at this game, how did we get to this point? We go all the way back. A big 2-run single by Devin Marrero. makes it a 3-0 game. But then Bo Bigham, an RBI single, scores a run, makes it 3-1. Then a fielder's choice ground out. The home run by Matt Vincent. The answer by Cole Calhoun. And ladies and gentlemen, here in the 8th inning, it is a 6-5 ball game. And what do you love about college baseball is this. That's a look around at some of the guys who have been stars, Matt Vincent, Bo Bigham, but out in center field. Calhoun, first pitch is way outside, 1-0. Brett Eibner, in between innings, was in the bullpen throwing. Then he goes out to center field. And with his left fielder, Colin Kuhn, he's pitching to him, not throwing like an outfielder, because he's got to get loose. In case there's a jam here in the 8th, and he may come in for a save of maybe 4 outs, potentially 5 outs.
I think you're right. You always want to put your closer in when the game counts, or the game's on the line, I should say.
2-0 to Cole Calhoun. Outside, 3-0. I give him the green light here.
Oh, you got to let him come out of his shoes. There's no question about it.
Against Jordan Pratt here in the 8th inning. Taking a 4-pitch walk to lead off the 8th. This is Brett Eibner in between innings. Down in the bullpen, getting loose. All he does is sit around 96 miles per hour.
That must be fun.
And it must be even more fun when he says, you know, it's not even close. I'd rather be hitting.
Oh, I loved it.
His brother played golf at Arkansas.
Is that an athletic family?
I think so.
Okay. I think you're right.
That qualifies.
That definitely does. Yeah.
Your brother played soccer at UCLA?
Yeah.
And you played baseball at USC, so I think that qualifies as an athletic family.
All right.
Mauricio Torres. Single back in the 3rd. Slider is low. 5 straight balls thrown here by Jordan Pratt to open up the 8th inning. With a 1-run lead, you cannot afford to do this.
Well, again, that's 5 balls in a row. This is normally a bunt situation, but I think that the Sun Devils are waiting until Pratt throws a strike.
And there it is, called for a strike, 1-1.
Man, that was barely a strike.
My question is, what happens if, you know, it's 1st and 2nd, nobody out? Can you bring in Eibner for a 6-out save?
I'm not concerned so much about, you know, the save part as much as whoever the best pitcher is right for that time needs to be in the game. And if that's Eibner, go for it.
Slider, just missing. 2-1. DJ Baxendale warming up. Well, that should answer your question, or at least my question. Fastball, big swing and a miss by Mauricio Torres.
Let's see right here, fastball right on the corner. It's interesting that Mauricio even kind of went after that pitch, just being completely, you know, just nicking the black, and a guy who throws 96, but he's feeling it.
Fastball fouled straight back. Mauricio Torres on that one. All right, so you threw a 2-2 fastball, fouls it straight back. Can you come back here with a slider?
I would shake one time, and then I'd throw a fastball up.
Shake one time, this way the hitter thinks you're shaking off the fastball, going to a breaking ball.
Yeah, just to give a different look. You shake once, and then you get up by the letters.
Well, he did shake.
Normally, if you shake twice, it's a fastball.
Not, it's a slider, and he fouls it back.
I guess that's just from my experience in, you know, pro baseball is if you see a pitcher shaking so much, it's not normally that they're trying to get to the next pitch, they're trying to get location. So those are things that you can just watch. You know, it's not a gimme, but you can watch certain pitchers and patterns. If they shake more than, twice, it's location. You just sit on fastball.
Breaking ball, line drive, base hit. First and second, nobody out.
Mauricio Torres, again, this is a protection swing almost right there. Slider away. I doubt that that's even on the plate, which goes to show you what type of ability Torres has. Just stays down. He actually bends over a little bit, which is what you try to steer clear of, but what a great battle right there.
Now it's first and second, nobody out. Johnny Rudiger at the plate.
Bunting.
Got to be a bunt situation.
And this is dangerous. Infielders are going to want to know Rudiger can run, so it's very important to get an out right here. You have to get at least one out. I shouldn't even say at least. You got to get an out. Now, if Rudiger ends up bunting the ball hard, he has the option to go to second base for a double play. If if Rudiger gets a one-hopper over to third base, you can turn a double play.
The bunt down the third baseline, picked up foul by Wilkins. Yes, but let's say it's bunted hard, and it's bunted hard to the pitcher. Don't you have to take the out at third base in a one-run game?
I'm going to second. I'm getting 2 outs. I got 2 open bases, and you got 2 outs.
What about going pitcher, third, cross assignment to first?
It won't happen.
Too long?
Yeah, and it's just because Rudiger, again, when you're checking the speed of the runners, I mean, I like the idea. But when you're checking the speed of the runners, Rudiger's too fast. He's a lefty. He's starting on that side. On the first base side, it just won't happen. But again, with Rudiger running, this ball, I'm telling you, if it gets bunted hard, I mean hard, you can go to second. But if not,
charging hard.
Okay.
Bunted foul, 0-2.
That's called a wheel play right there. And a wheel play is where the 2 corners crash. The middle infielders are actually going to third base for the shortstop and first base for the second baseman, and that means they're playing for 1 out. So you'll see, right as you see the pitcher turn his head, he waits, goes 1001, and then pitches. And the goal is to go to third base.
Rudiger right now is holding the bat like he's going to bunt here with 2 strikes. The corners are still in. The 0-2. All 3 batters that Pratt has faced has reached base. McPhee singled. It was the out at home plate. The walk to Calhoun. A single to Torres. Nobody out here. Top of the 8th inning, and now at first base, Moncrieder can back up knowing that the batter Rudiger is not going to bunt with 2 strikes. Got him swinging. Huge strikeout.
I'll tell you one thing. Anytime a guy is able to throw 94, 95, it's hard to hit even if pitchers know it's coming. And we'll take a look right here. Now, Pratt is a huge guy. Being able to throw a ball up by the numbers or the chest, it looks so good to a batter, but it's just too firm. I'll tell you, Pratt, though, is going to want to make sure he mixes up his looks to second. I've been keeping track. He's only been giving 1 look. If you fall into a rut like that, base runners will pick that up, and immediately after they go 1 look, immediately when they turn, they'll just take off.
Devin Marrero, 1 for 4, 2 RBIs.
1 look.
First pitch slider in their first strike.
See, these are things that you want to concentrate on the batter, and that's important. That should be the #1 priority, but you cannot fall into ruts or patterns that other people can pick up. And these are things that people at home can do. These are things that people in the stands can do. If you're taught this stuff, you can find it. So Pratt's been going 1 look, 1 look, 1 look. Let's see what he does. 1 look.
Pop up in the infield. Crater 2 away.
I mean, in my opinion, you know, these are things that when you have, you know, when you're coaching a college team or something, you have to have guys on your own team watching your guys, trying to pick your guys, trying to watch to see if there are tendencies, because you don't want the other team to pick up on a tendency. You want your guy to come up to the coach and say, listen, coach, our guy is only going one look or something. You want to have the information before the other team has it. But this is blatant. This right here, I mean, I can steal off this and I'm slow.
Raul Torres, 1 for 4.
One look.
First pitch breaking ball misses inside. Do you take that chance though?
Absolutely.
2 outs.
It's almost not even a chance. See, what ends up happening is pitchers, they don't even know they're doing it. You know, they're sitting there and they're just feeling good and, you know, trying to concentrate on the batter, and that's important. But tendencies happen. Pitchers don't even know they're doing it.
Slider on the outside corner, 1-1. Torres has struck out, popped out to second, lined out to right field. Tying run at second base, bottom of the 8th inning, 6-5. Arkansas leading the top seed Arizona State Sun Devils. ASU 3 for 15 tonight with runners in scoring position. They have left 11 men on base. They led 3-0. Fastball, got him chasing. 1-2.
I'll tell you right now, I would look out. If you're a third baseman and the runner decides to steal, you stay put.
Yep.
You do not go to third base at all. You'll see Pratt right there elevating. It's very difficult for right-handed batters to lay off the high pitch. I have no idea why, but I do know that it's true.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. First and second. There's a big lead by Calhoun. And a look back by Jordan Pratt.
It should also be noted that the purpose, if you're not a super speed guy, the purpose of stealing third base is to steal a run. It's difficult for a catcher to throw a strike with a right-handed batter at the plate, so they're trying to get him to throw it into left field. Oh gosh.
1-2. Whoa!
I don't know.
Now you said, oh gosh, because Bo Bigham at second base was covering the bag.
Yeah, anytime you see your middle infielders that get closer to the bag, you got to step off. That's a ball.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on. Bottom 8, 6-5, Arkansas leading. The 2-2. Fastball, got him! What a job by Jordan Pratt. The first 2 men reach base. A failed bunt attempt by Johnny Rudiger. He strikes out. Marrero pops out. And Torres goes down swinging to end the inning. We go to the 9th. 6-5, Arkansas.
The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals is presented by Capital One Venture Card, official credit card of the NCAA Men's College World Series.
Downtown Tempe, 6-5. Arkansas leading Arizona State here, top of the 9th inning. It'll be the top 3 in the order for the Razorbacks. Kuhn, Cox, and Eibner to face Mitchell Lamson. Jordan Pratt got himself into some trouble, a leadoff walk, then a single, got himself out of trouble. Kuhn squares around a bunt, pulls it back, takes the first pitch for a ball, but looking back at that 8th inning, the biggest play was that Johnny Rudiger, who had walked his previous 4 times, could not get the bunt down. He had 2 attempts and didn't do it, and now Kuhn hits one to left field. Rudiger is there for the first out. Coverage of the road to Omaha continues on ESPN tomorrow afternoon with regional action. First at 1 Eastern, you'll see either Game 2 of Coastal Carolina and South Carolina or Game 3 of Florida State against Vanderbilt. Then at 4, it's Game 2 of Virginia and Oklahoma or Game 3 of Texas and TCU. The NCAA Baseball Super Regionals presented by Capital One on ESPN tomorrow afternoon at 1 and 4 Eastern. First pitch to Zach Cox, a fastball in there for a strike.
I don't think that was a strike either. I'm sorry I'm harping on this, but I mean, you've got a left-handed pitcher throwing a an inside fastball. That just doesn't go over the plate to me.
1 ball and 1 strike to Cox. It's 2 for 4.
This will be a telling pitch at 1-1. We'll see. Lamson loves his changeup. We'll see what he wants to do against lefties.
But against lefties, for some reason, it's so hard for a lefty to throw a changeup to a lefty.
No, you're right. Normally what they do is they'll throw sliders because a slider will start at the left-handed batter's hip.
There is a slider check swing. He did not go. Now, this kind of brings up an interesting scenario. On deck is Brett Eibner. Eibner is going to come in to close this game out.
Yeah.
You don't want him getting tired on the bases. Strikeout. 2 away. Let's say he gets on right now and foul ball, he's running back and forth. That tires him out for him coming in to pitch the 9th inning.
I think at that point you just, thank God that, he's 20 years old and he basically could bounce.
First pitch fastball is outside to Eibner.
I think if Eibner was a little bit more advanced in age, I think, yeah.
Off-speed pitch missing. 2 balls and no strikes.
Okay, so did you see, Brett right here lay off that low pitch, that low changeup? That's what you want to do, and you do that by getting the ball up by your belt when a guy's got a great changeup. So like Cole Hamels, great changeup, right? I mean, one of the best in the game. You say to yourself, I'm not going to swing at a pitch unless it's at my belt. And anything that's mid-thigh, even if it's a fastball, let it go, because he's going to throw you a changeup.
3-0, swinging away, pops it up to center field. Applin makes the catch. A 1-2-3 inning work by Mitchell Lamson. Back-to-back 1-2-3 innings work by the lefty. ASU coming up. It's 8-9-1. They trail by 1. What a game so far we've had. A lot of scoring early on, nothing since the 6th inning, 6-5 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Jordan Pratt is still out there on the hill to face Andrew Applin. Pratt got out of a huge jam in the 8th inning. Brett Eibner, the closer, is still out there in center field. Applin, first pitch, first strike. ASU at home this year against non-conference opponents, 30-0. Needless to say, Arkansas is a non-conference opponent out of the SEC.
Good job right there, partner.
Thank you. You're the color man. I'm Mr. Obvious.
Captain. Captain Obvious.
Captain Obvious?
Not a boy.
Okay. You're the one who names, you give us all names. So that's fine.
1-1 counts.
Now 2-1.
Applin having that double earlier, he's feeling it.
He's walked twice, struck out once. On the inside corner, 2-2. What a big critical pitch that was.
Well, it was a huge pitch, but it was a strike. Costello right there called it earlier, in the last inning, so you gotta know it.
Foul, 2-2. Are you surprised that we're not seeing Brett Eibner in this position?
I am, yeah.
I am too. I thought for sure he was coming in. Another 2-2. Slider, ground ball right side, seeing eye single.
So base hit right here, great job. And this is what Arizona State has done so well all year. They're used to adversity, they're at home, they're very difficult at home. Great placement. That's what happens when you hit the ball hard.
Now Austin Barnes up 0 for 4. Got to expect a bunt here.
This is a bunt. I mean, this is going to be a bunt to the first base side. Third baseman wants to crash.
Bunt to first base. Pratt will take it himself. Down to second base goes Alpin. Andrew Alpin down to second base in a sacrifice, one unassisted. One out. And the closer is still out there in center field. Top of the order, Drew Maggio.
Well, this is a great bunt, and this is exactly what you want. You want to bunt the ball to the right side of the infield and force the first baseman to get off that bag. I think in a perfect world, if you want that ball to be grounded by the first baseman. If you can help it as a batter, you always want the first baseman to have the ball because they're not used to throwing the ball as much. And sometimes it's difficult for first basemen to run up and get these balls. They're not used to using their feet. What's interesting is that it looks like Arkansas is playing the right field line, which is, I can't figure out.
There's a first pitch fastball. Well, you can't figure out the right field line being played. I can't figure out why Eibner's not in the game. Up by 1, bottom of the 9th inning. Runner on second, 1 out. Top of the order up in Drew Maggi. Breaking ball.
Oh my goodness.
There was a cross-up, I think, there with Pratt and James McCann.
Yeah, that was definitely a mix-up right there.
But still looked like a good pitch.
Let's see.
And that was only because McCann went up.
That's true.
That's why it was a ball.
Yeah, there's no way for Costello right there to be able to recognize that. He's getting blocked by the catcher. So.
Ground ball, second base. Bigham to first for the out. Down to third base goes Applin. It was McPhee who hit the ball off of Jordan Pratt. His last time up, when the runner was thrown out of home plate, Andrew Applin, ironically enough, who is the runner on the third base now. The fans have risen to their feet. 2 outs, tying one at third base. Slider is down low.
Now, if you look right there, the third baseman, you'll see that he's up right on the grass. The reason why is he's taking away a drag bunt attempt. That's a very smart move. You don't want to just give McPhee a chance to drag and tie this game.
Slider 1-1.
So the 1-1, last at bat, he wanted a fastball, he threw a slider. We'll see what happens. This is the pitch right here.
Fastball, 1-2.
Now, as you know, Pratt did a great job right there with the 1-1 fastball in. That's very good. What makes this situation unique is that you've got the time run at third base, so Pratt doesn't want to be too fine in bouncing a slider if that's what he's going for, because you don't want to just throw a ball away. I'm saying fastball up.
The 1-2. Fastball, chopper, tough play. Pratt's throw, not in time. Tie game.
We'll take a look at the defense right here, and this is just a jam shot in right here, just battling, but I think third baseman has got to be calling this ball. You never want the pitcher ever to field the ball. You got to be yelling and screaming that you want the ball at third base.
Even if third base gets that, I don't think they get McPhee.
Maybe not.
Intentional walk here to Cole Calhoun. First and second, 2 outs. Jordan Pratt was so close to getting out of the inning and getting the save. Instead, it's a base hit in E1, an RBI for McPhee. First and second after the intentional pass brings up Mauricio Torres. Zach McPhee, the Pac-10 Player of the Year, had the base hit the first time up against Pratt, and now hustling out of the box.
Well, McPhee shows you some of his speed, and that's all Hart sliding into first base.
Now the pitching coach, Dave Jorn, comes out. And I know hindsight's 20/20, but I think we brought it up before and we'll bring it up again. I don't know why we didn't see Brett Eibner.
Well, I mean, he did hurt his, he's hurt. I mean, it looked like he pulled up lame on going down to first base a little bit. He's been battling
But he was out in the bullpen throwing. He was out in center field throwing.
Well,
No, I understand what, I mean.
I don't really know why. I'm trying to figure, trying to figure it out.
There was a crazy game at UCLA between UCLA and Cal State Fullerton. UCLA won that to extend the series to a third game. Here, trailing by 1 in the 9th inning with 2 outs and 2 strikes on Zach McPhee. McPhee gets an infield base hit to tie the game up. And now it's first and second. And Mauricio Torres, who is the hottest hitter in the lineup for Arizona State. All he did in the regional was hit .636. And in this game, he's 2 for 5 with 2 singles. He's reached base 3 times. And he singled his last time against Pratt. Ball 1.
Well, if your heart is not beating, if you're not excited or pumped up, then you don't have a heart. I mean, this game is easily one of the better games I've ever seen. And this is what you want. This is Pac-10 against SEC. I mean, this is the dogfight. This is battle right here.
Ball 2. This may be crazy, but I'd rather face Johnny Rudiger on deck than face Mauricio Torres here. I think a base hit wins the game regardless.
I think you're right. And I think that's sort of what the Razorbacks are deciding to do right here. And 3-0. And we know that is now after that pitch.
Now you stand up and you intentionally walk him. There's no point to throw anything else. McCann gets back down in the crouch.
I'll tell you what, though, if this ball's close, Torres is going to take a huge cut.
It's not. Ball 4, bases loaded. who couldn't get the bunt down in the 8th inning, comes to the plate here in the 9th with a chance to win it for his team. And now Dave Van Horn comes out of the dugout. This is the second visit, so we're going to have a pitching change, and it's going to be the center fielder, Brett Eibner, coming in. And this kind of baffles me.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I would have thought that you might bring a lefty in.
Well, it's not even that. It's not that. For me, it's not a lefty-righty situation. Now you're bringing your closer into the game on the road in a tie game, when you could have brought your closer in on the road, leading by 1 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Even after 2 outs, you could have brought him in. Now you're bringing him with 2 outs and the bases loaded.
I think they're good points. I don't have answers.
Kyle Atkins now comes into play center field. Kuhn goes to center field. Atkins goes to left field. Eibner's numbers: 3 and 4, a 4.39 ERA, 10 walks and 54 strikeouts. We go back to the key play in this inning. 2-strike pitch to Zach McPhee, infield single. Pratt, 2 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Responsible for all 3 men on base.
He pitches hard out.
He did. I'm still kind of baffled right now. Eibner will face Johnny Rudiger, who, as we mentioned, could not get the bunt down in the 8th inning with 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Struck out. Then Marrero popped out to 1st, and Torres, Raul Torres, struck out to end the inning. Johnny Rudiger is the nephew of Rudy Rudiger, the character from the movie Rudy, who played football as a walk-on at Notre Dame. Rudiger will face Brett Eibner, the center fielder and closer. And what has happened to Eibner today? Diving home, hurts his hand. Running to first base, comes up a bit lame. And Eibner again made the final out at the top of the 9th inning. And the question, the thought process to me is, when I didn't see him come in to start the inning, I thought, okay, maybe you give him some more time to get his, his heart rate back down and catch his breath. But I would have sworn we would have seen him win the lead.
I did kind of think that for a second. I didn't know if maybe you're going to do one of these deals where you have the Pratt warm up, gives your guy a little bit extra time to breathe. But again, Coach Van Horn knows his team. He's the one that's guided this team, all season long. I just have to go with Van Horn. I think he's got a method to his madness.
Rudiger, bases loaded. Fastball is outside at 93. At third base, Zach McPhee, that's the only one that matters. Calhoun is at second. Mauricio Torres at first. 2 outs, tie game, game 1 of the best of 3. Arizona State and Arkansas. 1-on-1.
Well, you asked Eibner, do you throw a slider or a curveball or anything? He says, yeah, I got a little bit of a slider. But he really throws tons of fastballs. And as he gets loose, you're going to see some high 90s here. If he has time, I guess, huh?
Ball 2, 2-1. Everybody on their feet. here at Packard Stadium. Up the middle. Forced to second.
That would have been the perfect play right there. With 2 outs, you run directly through that bag. You beat that throw out. That was exactly the situation.
Eibner gets the force out to end the inning. Arizona State ties it up, but they leave the bases loaded. Rudiger up the middle. Carver, the flip. Wow, how close it was. Brett Eibner got out of the bases loaded jam, came in 2 out, got the force out at second base. But Morgan, you always talk about this play in particular. Bases loaded, 2 outs. If you're the runner at first base, you want him to run through the bag.
Right, like you're trying to beat it out at first. You got 2 outs, you got the winning or tying run at third. You run right through that bag, and you beat the throw. If you come up safe right here, that gives time for the runner at third to be safe, and then you end up being, out because you go into left field, but it doesn't matter because you beat the run home.
First pitch slider to Andy Wilkins is taken for a ball from Mitchell Lamson. There is Ricio Torres at first base. So close. Slider off the end of the bat. Jam shot going out to left field. Making the catch is Magic. 1 away. Justin Kutcher alongside former Major League All-Star Morgan Ensberg here in Tempe, Arizona for game 1 of the best-of-3 Super Regional between Arkansas and top seed Arizona State. We're in extra innings now, top of the 10th, after ASU ties it up in the bottom half of the 9th on an infield jam single. Change up fouled off by Bo Bigham. Bigham 3 for 4, 3 singles, 2 RBIs, a run scored. Fastball's down low. Line drive, base hit. Bigham, 4th hit of the ball game. ESPN's AL-NL Showdown begins Sunday and Monday night. First on ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern. Ozzie Guillen's White Sox face their Intercity Rivals, the Cubs, and catch 2 of the best hitters in the game on ESPN's Monday Night Baseball at 7 Eastern as Ichiro and the Mariners go up against Albert Pujols and the Cardinals. Both games part of the AL-NL Showdown presented by State Farm and available on ESPN3.com Sunday and Monday. Throw back to first base. Bigham, 14 for 16 on the season, stolen bases. Moncrieder at the plate. There's a fastball for strike 1, 0-1. Now, let me pose this idea to you. Because you've got a guy on the mound in Mitchell Lamson who throws a lot of changeups off speed, you want to stay back and put the ball the other way, right?
Well, you want to make sure that any ball that you swing at is going to be up by your belt. You lay off anything that's at your thigh or lower. And the reason why is because guys with plus changeups like that, you will be unable to recognize that it's a changeup because the way he throws his changeup is like four-seaming. There's no depth.
How about a hit and run?
It's tough doing a hit and run with a left-handed pitcher because the left-handed pitcher can just hold, and the guy at first, although he has to wait until he pitches, it's almost like you just rather pick and choose a time to steal.
Okay.
It's the same thing, like you don't do delayed steals with left-handed pitchers because if you shuffle off, they can pick you off.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count here to Creeder.
I didn't explain that well, but I hope you understand.
Yeah, no, I understand. 0 for 4 on the night. Another throwback.
You can always do a hit and run, but the runner at first has to wait until that pitch goes home, not until the pitcher starts. He has to know that it's going home because you can't get picked off.
Like that?
No, that's fine because that was a straight steal. You're not allowed to get picked off on a hit and run. You're allowed to get picked off on a straight steal because you're just guessing against the lefty.
That's a caught stealing. 1-3-6 for the second out.
So you'll see first move, he takes off, and that's just the gamble.
Ground ball. Raul Torres to his brother. And that will do it for Arkansas here in the 10th. No runs on a hit. One man, no man left on base. We hit to the bottom half of the 10th. 6-6 ball game. Bottom of the 10th. A lot of maroon and yellow in those seats. 6-6 game, Arkansas and Arizona State. This game has been interesting to say the least. We look at some key plays in this ball game. Trailing by one. The throw home by Colin Kuhn. Gets the runner at the plate. Then in the 9th, it's Zach McPhee with 2 strikes. A number ties the game up. Up the middle, last play of the 9th. Just getting the runner out at second. Arizona State was that close to capping off the comeback. Colin Kuhn now playing in center field. The shortstop, Tim Carver. Eibner on the hill. In this inning, it'll be Marrero, Raul Torres, Andrew Applin. 6, 7, 8 for Arizona State.
Well, we spoke about it earlier, but this is the regional to be watching right here. I mean, you got the SEC, you got the Pac-10. I mean, this is it.
And it's 2 teams that really have been among the top 10 in the country for much of the season.
These are 2 of the top teams in the country, no doubt.
Marrero, first pitch, ground ball to short. Easy play for Carver. 1 pitch, 1 out. Raul Torres, who struck out to end the 8th inning with runners on first and second and 2 outs. That's a nervous smile. A little jam shot up the middle. Collision! And it's caught! Bo Bingham. Both guys are okay. Talk about hustle.
I'm becoming a giant fan of Bo Bingham, probably because he can really play the game. You see jam shot. That's amazing.
Wow.
They grow them tough. That's how they do it in Arkansas. Neither one of those guys felt that. They're just tough. They're just going for the ball. They don't feel a thing.
Andrew Applin takes the first pitch for a strike. He had to take that one because the first 2 outs remain on 2 pitches. 2 for 3, 2 walks, a double, a single, a run, and a stolen base. Fouls it back, 0-2. Such a dangerous play. I mean, I think the last time I saw 2 players dive and collide at the same time was Mike Cameron and Carlos Beltran.
Oh, that was terrible. Gosh, that was horrible.
Up high with a fastball, 1-2.
Are you seeing how Eibner, I mean, very little effort? He reminds me of John Smoltz, and I used to see John Smoltz throwing 100, and it looked like he was doing nothing.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Funny story behind Eibner is that he was never a pitcher. Then sophomore year in high school, somebody clocked him in the outfield throwing 92. And they said, all right, that's it. Come on in.
Yeah, that pretty much does it.
You're going to pitch.
If you're able to throw a ball from center field at 92.
Got him swinging. 1, 2, 3. Go the Arizona State Sun Devils. How badly do these teams want it? The collision in the outfield. And they still make the play. We go to the 11th, 6-6.
Arizona State's a good team. They're ranked #1 for a reason. They've played well all year, especially at home. It's the #1 team. We're the underdog. Everybody knows it. And to come in here and to win, that would be something really special. What it comes down to is just playing hard 3 days in a row and controlling what we can control.
To the 11th inning, 6-6 game. Arkansas and Arizona State here in the first of a best-of-3 Super Regional. 6 runs, 12 hits, 3 errors for Arkansas. 6 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for Arizona State. The bottom third of the order, James McCann, Matt Vincent, and Tim Carver against Mitchell Lamson. Change up is outside for ball 1. One thing that we should talk about, and it's still relatively early. I know you're probably saying, what are you talking about? The 11th inning. But these teams, whoever loses, still has to win 2 more games.
That's right.
How many pitchers can you afford to burn?
You burn them all. You burn everybody, everything you got to win this game. You do what you can. You deal with that problem tomorrow.
Okay. On the outside corner, 2-2 to McCann. And the reason why you burn them all is because you win today, your path to Omaha is that much easier.
That's right.
Got him on the fastball. How about the job that Lamson has done? He is now retired. Well, he's retired all 10 guys. He's gotten some help by pickoff caught stealing.
Well, this is what happens when batters expect changeups, and then he gets a good fastball on that outside corner. That's a great job by Lamson.
So 9 of the 10 guys he's faced, he has gotten out. 1 guy reached base, but he has faced the minimum through now 3 1/3. Vincent homered back in the 6th, but that was from the left side, trying to bunt for a base hit. It's behind on the count 0-2.
So third baseman or something, I guess sometimes first baseman can tell if a guy's going to bunt based on not only the bat, but his feet. And if you saw right there, what you didn't, was his feet, he moved twice. His back foot moved back, his front foot moved forward.
Change up out in front. That's Bugs Bunny-esque. Game 1 of the Tempe Super Regional here at Packard Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. Arkansas against top seed Arizona State. Justin Kutcher alongside Morgan Ensberg here on ESPNU. In extra innings, 6-6 now in the 11th. Foul tip from Tim Carver.
And getting back to that point simply is that when you drag bunt, the key is that you actually adjust your back foot a little bit back, meaning towards the third base dugout, and you make 1 step so that your momentum is moving forward and there's less movement with your eyes. If you move both feet, you'll see a third baseman crashing hard.
Outside, 1-1. Here's what I love right now about watching Mitchell Lamson. As Tim Carver is 0 for 4 with an RBI and a strikeout. Changeup is that Mitchell Lamson came in the 8th inning. He tops out at what, 86? He throws his changeup at 68. He's got 5 strikeouts already. If that's not a lesson that says you don't have to throw hard, just have control and be able to throw a good changeup, and you can be successful. If that's not a lesson, I don't know what is.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And another thing for the people at home is it all has to do with arm speed. The changeup has to do with arm speed. You want to throw it as hard with arm speed as a fastball.
Strikeout number 6. Mitchell Lamson strikes out the side in the 11th. James McCann. Fastball down. Vincent down. Carver gone. Bottom of the 11th inning, 6-6 ball game. Arkansas and Arizona State. 9-1-2 in the order due up here for Arizona State. Looking at these two teams, for Arkansas, it's second straight Super Regional, ranked in the top 10 for 6 weeks. Arizona, fourth straight Super Regional. Started the season with school record 24-0. Both teams advanced to Omaha last year. Good news for Seth Blair. He's off the hook. He'll stay undefeated at 12-0 as his team bailed him out. Austin Barnes. First pitch fastball is up high for ball 1. Barnes is 0 for 4. Sack bunt his last time up. Two balls and no strikes. Good swing, fouls it off, 2-1. 252, a home run, 22 RBIs. If he gets on, watch out, because then you bring up Drew Maggi and Zach McPhee, followed by Cole Calhoun.
Well, big time players want to be up in big time situations, and those are
chasing the heater, 2-2. Just missing with a fastball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Arizona State, this top seed here in this tournament. Texas number 2, Florida number 3. Payoff pitch, skied, center field. Colin Kuhn comes in, and he makes the catch for the first out. Drew Maggi has just 1 hit in this game. A single back in the 4th, but he was caught stealing 2-5 on a strikeout double play. He's also walked. There's a fastball in their first strike, 0-1.
nervous?
Nah.
How about you? Nervous? Nope.
Slider, left center field. Kuhn coming on to right. Now Zach McPhee, the Pac-10 Player of the Year. 3 for 6. The game-tying RBI infield single his last time up. 397 on the season. It's tough. You have to go 3 for 6 to raise your average from 394 to 397.
It's a great problem to have.
Fouls the first one back. Last at bat for McPhee. 2 strikes. Just fights it off. Tied the game up in the 9th inning. I don't like the head-first dive to first base, but he got the job done.
Well, the book on McPhee is definitely off speed.
Staying alive, no balls and 2 strikes. Arizona State has left 17 men on base. Another 0-2. Check swing. I believe that was ruled a foul ball. No balls and 2 strikes. Brett Eibner's 0-2. Going up high, missing. Good hack right there by Zach McPhee. Does have 9 home runs on the season. The wind is still blowing out to right field. We have seen 2 home runs in the ball game, 1 for each team. Got him on the off speed. A 1-2-3, and it worked by Eibner. We go to the 12th. It'll be the top of the order due up for Arkansas. Well, we go to the top of the 12th inning, 6-6 ball game between Arkansas and Arizona State here in Tempe, Arizona. Justin Kutcher alongside former Major League All-Star Morgan Ensberg. And Morgan, we came on the air tonight talking about this being a great matchup. 2 of the top teams in the country, despite the fact that it wasn't a national seed for Arizona State. Excuse me, they're number 1, but Arkansas wasn't a national seed. They were in the top 10 all year long.
Well, Arkansas clearly is showing right now that they can go up against anybody. They've got so much experience. They're the team right now, I think, really, that has momentum.
Well, here in the 12th, it is Colin Kuhn, Zach Cox, and Brett Eibner to face Mitchell Lamson, who has been awesome. Lamson came in the 8th. He has worked 4 innings, struck out 6, allowed 1 hit. And guess what he hasn't done? Walk about it.
Hey, well, we'll find out.
45 pitches through just over 4 innings. Down the right field line, foul. Everyone stands up down the first baseline.
Did you, I mean, I'm not, excuse me, I don't mean to cut you off, but did you see Kuhn right there now? He gets that pitch up. Now that might be off the plate, but he almost, you know, if he hits the ball just barely out in front a little bit more, will drive that ball down the right field line. That's what you need to do against change-up pitchers.
Popped up, foul territory. Coming over is Lamson, called off by his first baseman, Torres. The first out here in the 12th. Mitchell Lamson came in the 8th inning. And what has he done since he's come in? It's just throw strikes. Strike after strike after strike. 6 strikeouts in the ball game. This is a guy who could be a starter. Has not started a game this year, but he has just done a great job. He's one of those guys that if I'm a hitter, I would hate to face him.
Well, anybody, I think the most effective pitch after a fastball, a well-located fastball, is a straight changeup. And I say that because sometimes changeups that have depth or that break a little bit, you can actually pick up the rotation, whereas the straight changeup, if you throw it with the same fastball arm speed, it looks like a fastball. There's no way really to pick it up.
This is Kyle Atkins at the plate, and that does not feel good to Austin Barnes. A nice move by the home plate umpire, Perry Costello.
Well, Costello is doing, it's just that obviously is really great. I mean, you'll see right now too, he's stalling, and that's just great respect out of Costello right there.
2 balls and a strike here to Atkins, but Atkins came in to play left field when Eibner moved from center field to the pitcher's mound. So what happens then is you lose the DH. And the DH in this game was Zach Cox. Zach Cox was 2 for 5. And he kind of jump-started this offense with that double back in the 5th inning.
Let's see where this pitch is. Maybe, but I think it's a strike.
3-2 down low. There's the first walk handed out by Lamson. It's a 1-out walk, bringing up Brett Eibner. And Eibner right now like nothing more than to go yard, give himself a lead, and come out and close it out.
Well, you're right, and maybe some people are thinking, you know, why does Lamson go with the changeup right there, 3-2? Well, you know what? I'm okay with it because his best pitch is the changeup, and if you're going to get beat, you get beat on your best pitch.
And right now with Atkins on at first base and Eibner at the plate and then Andy Wilkins due up next, I'd be very careful if I'm Atkins. You cannot get picked off. You've got your power guys up. And there's a fastball first strike.
I think you're right. I think you always have to be careful at the end of games. I mean, you always have to be careful to preserve outs anyway. But you only want to go if you've got a legit key on the pitcher.
Outside with the fastball, 1-1.
You know what I'd like to see is I would like to see anytime you have anytime you have a left-handed pitcher on the mound, the base runner should be jabbing as soon as he lifts his leg up to get Lamson used to seeing guys move,
Change up, 2-1.
When there's no movement, Lamson can just sit there and read. So if you take off, he'd pick over like he did last inning. But if you're constantly jabbing, 1 foot, jab, right when he lifts his foot up, it'll be more difficult.
Throw back over to first. Dave Van Horn was given the signs in from the first base dugout. Throw back again. Eibner at the plate. Again a throw back. He was leaning. Oh, was that close? Again a throw over. Who had the best move that you faced?
That's a great question.
Thank you.
Let me think about that.
All right.
The best move I saw was Andy Pettit, but I never was on base.
Change up. Eibner can't hold up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Eibner shakes off the right wrist.
We'll see again. Change up. Eibner right there was sold out on the 2-1 fastball. Kind of talked himself into that. He would never have swung that if he was just reacting.
Fouls it straight back on a 2-2 fastball. To me, I wonder how much did all those throws over to first base distract the hitter Brett Eibner? Just waiting. Then all of a sudden you come back with a changeup.
I think that's another great point. As a batter, you have got to be in control. of that and you call timeout, you wait until that umpire says no.
Fastball. Whoa. The crowd thought they had strike 3.
Let's see.
Fastball.
Low. Yeah, it's a little low, especially when you're 6'4".
Something I would not know.
I wouldn't either. You know, the best move actually I've ever seen, now that I think about it, is a pitcher by the name of Chris Mahalik. He played with Toronto for a little bit. It is the best move ever. He picked off everybody. I saw him pick a guy off who was only 3 feet off the bag.
3-2, got him, runners going. And it's a stolen base for Kyle Atkins. And they're going to call for batter's interference again on the same batter, Brett Eibner. You see this called once a season. This is twice in a game against the same guy on a strikeout.
I don't understand. He's not getting hit.
Bottom 12th, 6-6, Arkansas, Arizona State. And let's take you back to this last play. It's a strikeout, batter's interference for the second time tonight against Brett Eibner.
I don't know. I mean, he's swinging. He doesn't even look like he gets hit. I just have never seen it called twice in a game without the catcher basically tackling the batter.
I've never seen it called twice in a game regardless.
No, I meant like ever.
But to me, again, it's momentum taking you over. You swing and a miss and a strikeout. Your momentum, you're falling over. He wasn't trying to interfere.
I agree.
He's 6'4".
I just think I think it's a bad call. I think it's ticky-tack at best.
Wow. Now we go to the 12th. Cole Calhoun, Mauricio Torres, Johnny Rudiger against Eibner.
Well, what Arizona State should be teaching, though, Austin Barnes, is in that exact same situation to draw contact. I mean, hit him. Like, get it, then you'll get it called. But he's missing him. And that's why it shouldn't be called. Normally, when you see an interference call, I mean it. Like, the catcher throws, and it's almost gets tackled.
Fastball is in there for a strike, 1-1.
My point is it's completely ticky-tack. There's no need to call that.
In the dirt, 2 balls and a strike. An off-speed pitch from Eibner. How much longer do you go with Eibner? He's gone 2 1/3, the closer. The problem is, you pull him out right now, and his position has to hit, so it's a pitcher's spot who would come in to have to hit.
That
31 pitches now for Eibner. Now, Eibner did make the last out of the 12th inning, so you wouldn't necessarily need a double switch, but that's important to factor in here now in the 12th inning. Outside, 3-2. Nobody's warming up in the bullpen here for Arkansas. Ball 4. Cole Calhoun gets on the leadoff walk. Those leadoff walks tend to come around to score. Mauricio Torres at the plate as Calhoun walks for the 5th time tonight. So all he's done is walk 5 times, homered, and struck out once, and Mauricio Torres is 2 for 5. Do you bunt?
You know what? We had a situation like this earlier, and he didn't. So
he is bunting, and that hits him. Oh, a big mistake by Eibner. Torres sacrificing, willing to give up the out. Now he gets hit by the pitch.
Well, you see right here, fastball, trying to throw it in, and let's see where it hits him. Oh gosh, that looks like arm maybe. But he's part of the mighty Torres brothers. They just take it.
Torres has now been hit 22 times on the season. Rudiger, can you say bunts?
Well, what's important here for Rudiger is to pre-angle early. Get that bat out there early. And bunt this ball to the third baseman. Right to him.
Bunts it to third base. Go to second, they get the force there. What that does is it keeps the possibility of a double play intact.
It's brilliant. You rarely see that out of a college player to have the wherewithal. But this is what we're talking about. A hard hit ball, knowing your runners, throwing the ball to second base to keep the double play.
That's a fielder's choice.
And that's all coaching.
However, with that said, my question is, you're down, it's a tie game in the 12th inning. Do you walk the bases loaded here? This way you have a force out at home plate. Because right now, if you try to take a chance of getting a double play in the middle infield, you may not turn it. The run scores, you lose.
I think you're right. And the other part too is you want to stay clear. Excuse me. You want to stay clear of the squeeze bunt. You know, you have to defend against that also, and it's easier on a squeeze bunt to go home than to tag. You don't want to tag a squeeze bunt.
Devin Marrero coming to the plate earlier. This is way earlier, back in the third. On a 2-0 pitch, went the other way, drove in 2. At that time, it was 3-0 Arizona State. They looked like they were going to cruise this victory. That was his only hit, 1 for 6. I got to intentionally walk him here.
I think you're right. I would. And again, that's to make sure that if, in fact, they decide to squeeze, it's just a force play. So the catcher can pretend like they're a first baseman and lean. It gives you extra, space. It gets quicker to the plate.
It makes the play easier.
That's right.
Let's see if they hold out the right arm. McCann standing up. If he goes into a crouch, I'll be shocked. And I'm shocked.
They know something we don't.
Fastball. Game over. Arizona State takes game 1 in 12 innings, 7-6. Devin Marrero, the game-winning single. Arkansas chooses to pitch to Marrero with runners on first and third, 1 out, not walking to load the bases, and it comes back to her.
You just look back and there's always these small plays. That right there, though, great job by Arizona State, and Marrero gets to be the hero of the day. He should be wearing a cape.
Cole Calhoun scores the winning run. And Arizona State, which trailed 6-5. 2 outs, 2 strikes in the bottom of the 9th inning. Tied it up and now wins it here in the 12th. And that man right there, Mitchell Lampson, is our Capital One player of the game. 5 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts.
Mitchell Lampson did an incredible job going in there. 6 Ks, 5 innings. He just dominated with his changeup. When he needed to throw a strike, he went to his fastball. Great job. Championships are won and lost on those one-run ball games. And you'll look, no matter what level, the team that normally wins a World Series or a championship has won the majority of those one-run ball games.
Arizona State stays undefeated at home against non-conference opponents. 7-6. The winner is Lampson. The loser is Einer. The brackets now look like this. Arizona State leads this series 1-0. Game 2 will be tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPNU. Alabama up 1-0 over Clemson. Virginia 1-0 over Oklahoma. South Carolina 1-0 over Coastal Carolina. Let's flip them, see the other side of the brackets. Texas and TCU will play a Game 3 tomorrow. Same with Vanderbilt, Florida State. Cal State Fullerton had a lead against UCLA. UCLA came back in the 9th, won it in extras. And Florida defeated Miami in 2 to punch their tickets to Omaha. Once again, our final score from Packard Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. ASU wins 7-6 over Arkansas in 12 innings. Don't forget, tomorrow at 1 Eastern on ESPN, Game 2 of Coastal Carolina and South Carolina. Also at 10 Eastern, Game 2 of this series, Arizona State against Arkansas. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. From Morgan Ensberg, I'm Justin Kutcher, saying so long from Tempe, Arizona, where tonight you saw a great game back and forth. And ultimately, the #1 seed in the country, Arizona State, showed their fight, and they came back and won it in 12 innings. We'll see you tomorrow night.